Oh, hello and welcome to What Are We Talking About with Jamie Jakes. I am him, and we are here to watch live the San Francisco 49ers take on the New York Giants. We are, of course, playing in the San Francisco 49ers Stadium, Levi's Stadium, and I believe Santa Ana, California. I don't think there's any noise going on in the background whatsoever. I hope you can hear me all right. We do have producer Caleb B. Davis working mobily tonight on our audio. We're trying a few things out. We got a scroll on the bottom of our screen right now, and I've got two good friends coming over today as Brock Purdy takes the field. I'll sync you guys up in a second once we have some action. It is 1st and 10, 20 seconds on the play clock. 19, 18, 17, 16. If you want to sync up with us. I've got two good friends coming over tonight, Furman Lee and Miles Francis. Couldn't quite make it in time for kickoff, but I wanted to hang out with y'all while we watched the San Francisco 49ers. And as I'm sitting here in my Dallas household watching Christian McCaffrey take the first snap, I am seeing, I believe, a Mr. Miles Francis parking his car in front of my house, so he will be upstairs shortly. Do not know if he knows that I am live or not, and I am seeing Miles walk out of his car right this second, so we'll have Miles Francis, hilarious stand-up comedian, joining me in just 1 second. The dogs across the street are barking at him. A crackhead on a bike is going by. Christian McCaffrey is behind Brock Purdy in shotgun. They go out to the right. Brock Purdy throws just behind his wide receiver, Deebo Samuel, on the play. Deebo goes and stares at the sideline. Don't know what that's all about. Don't know if he didn't like the call. Not sure what that is all about. They're showing the live game odds. Minus 10.5 for the San Francisco 49ers. A game I laid off. The current over-under is 43.5. We recommended, I believe, 44.5 on our gambling podcast earlier this week. We'll see if that pans out or not. I believe we had two of our guest hosts. I did not have any action on this game, and it looks like they run a very similar play, at least the same route, Deebo Samuel. This time it works. Brock Purdy hits him right in the numbers. And has a first down. 2 targets for Deebo Samuel. 1 touch for Christian McCaffrey. 4:05 left on the play clock. I can't see. I checked to see if Mr. Miles Francis was bringing beer up or not. Would be pretty sweet if he was. He always brings good beer. Last time we had some Yingling. I was also thinking about changing the name to this stream to make it more catchy, something like Drunk Commentary. My dog is freaking out because Miles Francis is home. A perennial house sitter for us here in this Dallas household. Whenever we're out of town, we have somebody's house sit for us. Brock Purdy hits his man deep. George Kittle off the fingertips. Looks like he went after the wrong guy. Deep number 3 was on a corner route. And Brock Purdy elected to go a little bit short. 2 inaccurate throws for Brock Purdy to open up this game. Kind of unusual for him. Also kind of looked like maybe George Kittle was going to sit down in that zone. And Brock Purdy misread it and threw it to Kittle a little bit more outside. It looked like Kittle was kind of slowing down. So maybe a little bit of more of a miscue or run up the middle for Christian McCaffrey. He finds the hole just like he always does. Breaks a tackle. And up the stairs comes my dog, Boston. quickly followed by Miles Francis with a microphone stand. 2 microphone stands. We've got microphone stands all over the place, which I actually love. I'm going to treat this like a good old-fashioned open mic, which is ironic because also no one is listening to this one. Do you like Mr. Miles Francis, how are you doing?
Good, man. I'm surprised the 49ers aren't up by 3 points or 3 scores already.
Well, they're working on it. They got the kickoff here in the first half. Thank you. We were just hoping that you were going to bring me a Yingling or 2. My dog sure does love you, huh?
I love your dog.
Yeah. I accidentally already opened 2 Bud Lights as it is. So
this is going to be a fun game.
Here goes yeah. Well, we're going to have some warm beers to drink later on, that's for sure. Not to let any of those go to waste. I'll take one of those mic stands from you, Miles Francis. I was just going to stand right here the whole time. I do have a little bit more of an audio situation. Caleb B. Davis is listening live. So we will see if our audio is better or worse momentarily. I'm expecting Brock Purdy takes a sack if you're just joining us. We are live watching the New York Giants take on the San Francisco 49ers. Miles just got here. He's making himself comfortable.
Getting there.
We're setting our microphone equipment up. If you like the audio today, I hope you do. It could also just sound horrible. Watch out for those cords down there, Mr. Miles, as he sits in the producer chair that was for Caleb B. Davis. You could also just sit on this couch if you'd like to. Does that look comfortable for you?
That works great, yeah.
If not, we can set that chair up, certainly. But I actually had the idea that you would sit in that chair.
I got this. Boston's in a hang.
Instead. Throw a little bit behind Jennings over the middle, completed down to the 20-yard line. San Francisco 49ers quickly marching down the field after 2 sketchy Brock Purdy throws. He seems to have a little bit more of a rhythm here. Just seconds later in the game, not surprising. Brock Purdy, a guy who, honestly, tonight, this could be his coming out party for a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. I had a patient recently ask me, actually my last patient before I came here, he's like, what's with this Brock Purdy guy? Is he a shitty quarterback who's on a good team, or is he a really good quarterback on a really good team? And I said, well, Trey Lance couldn't perform on this team, and he's shitty, so he's at least better than that. Screen pass to Christian McCaffrey.
I'm hoping for a big night from him. He is my number 1 pick from my other league that we're not in together.
I have a lot of Christian McCaffrey in best ball, which this year I was also talking to some people.
Nothing to see here.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
It might have been a little bit of a party foul that recently occurred. Miles Francis, Christian McCaffrey seems this year to be hero RB. If you went with an RB early, like Bijan or Christian McCaffrey, or, well, hopefully Austin Eckler if he does get healthy, one of the top RBs early on in the first round, and then faded the RB position for the rest of your draft, you're probably sitting pretty good because you hopefully got someone like Gus Edwards.
I actually just picked him up off waivers this week. But
really?
I actually, in my other league, I got Josh Jacobs as my second pick. So I went McCaffrey Jacobs, and I was hoping for more. I'm hoping for more out of him than he's shown so far, but I feel good about it.
Has not quite panned out yet, the Josh Jacobs situation. Brock Purdy, QB sneak on 3rd and 1 up the middle. 9:37, 36 left on the clock here in the first quarter of the game. I think we'll see a little bit more out of Josh Jacobs as the season goes on. He did miss a lot of camp. Also, he got to a really slow start last year. His first 2 weeks were in the running back 30 range and the running back 20 range. And whether he just kind of gets into a groove or what, I don't exactly know what the difference is, but sometimes you'll just have a little bit of inconsistent starts out of your halfback to start the season. I would be cautious about starting him if you got someone else on your roster, like a Brian Robinson. I would start him over that. Oh, another kind of bad ball from Brock Purdy. Seemed like Deebo Samuel kind of alligator arm that didn't want to get absolutely lit up, and probably a good choice because he would have been behind the line anyway. It probably would have been a loss of 1 yards or so. So
Purdy is surrounded by just enormous talent. It's hard. It feels like it'd be difficult to be bad at quarterback.
Yeah, but Well, look at Deshaun Watson in Cleveland right now. It's
Fair.
like an amazing offensive line, a great running game, even when you lose Nick Chubb, the best running back in the NFL.
Kareem Hunt's back.
Elijah Moore, Kareem Hunt is back. What do you think about that as Brock Purdy takes the snap and shotgun?
I think it's interesting that they're still saying that Ford is going to be the number. I guess Hunt coming back didn't make the team. Going to be what was like a star player the last couple seasons, it seemed, or had big expectations at least.
So he definitely, as a Cleveland Browns fan who watch every play to every snap of the Cleveland Browns since 2019 or whatever, Kareem Hunt definitely lost a big step last year. I'd say he lost like a step and a half, if that makes sense. He lost a lot of juice as Brock Purdy lines up in shotgun on their first drive. 3rd and 10. Big third down. Lots of pressure in his face. Throw to the corner to Deebo Samuel. Broken up.
That's because you didn't throw it to McCaffrey, dude. That's all you need to do. Throw it to McCaffrey all night long.
I think
make you look like a pro.
By my math, I believe Deebo Samuel got about 5 targets that drive. Brandon Ayuk out for the game with a shoulder injury. Got x-rays earlier in the week. They came back negative. They were concerned about a collarbone fracture. Or actually, no, it was a CT scan. So they took an x-ray. That was negative. And the shoulder was so bad.
This really wasn't a terrible throw.
It was a great idea.
It was a good idea. Pretty decent placement for the pressure he was under. Just really good defense, honestly. And it definitely wasn't one of those balls that only his receiver could get, which is never a good thing.
The kick is up and good. The San Francisco 49ers 3-0 over the New York Jets, which honestly, if you're a Jets fan, I kind of feel like you feel like that's a win. You hold the 49ers to a field goal on their first drive.
I would not have guessed that at all.
Put some pressure on Brock Purdy.
Boy, I love you too.
As we go to commercial break here, live on YouTube and on Facebook. What were we talking about?
Holding the 49ers to only 3.
No, before we were talking about some fantasy football jargon between the two of us.
We were talking about Josh Jacobs.
Christian McCaffrey.
Hunt being back on the Browns.
Kareem Hunt, yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's where it was.
Kareem Hunt definitely took a big step back last year as a running back, just like speed-wise, and
he's only like 28, right?
I don't know how old he is, but he took a big step back. This year,
like
the Browns brought him in not for a visit. They brought him in for a tryout. So they were like, all right, Kareem, let's see like kind of where you're at physically, from a physical standpoint right now. We got to try you out. We're not.
And they decided against him initially.
Well, yeah. So they've had. So the story with Jerome Ford is they didn't need him at the time, but the way they framed it was that we couldn't pass up on this kid from Cincinnati because he was such a talent and he was such a value where they were getting him in the draft. They were like, well, we're just going to take this guy and we're going to stash him for a couple of years. And now he's slowly won the starting position. He was behind Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb for 2 years. He's kind of earned that starting position on the team and been thrust into the starting role with Nick Chubb. They had the option to take Kareem Hunt back. He was on kind of like a discount deal for them for a couple of years, coming off of like kicking the lady in an elevator shaft or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Coming from the Kansas City Chiefs, if I remember correctly. That will happen to you. And that is how you get put on the Cleveland Browns. Like, if you ever,
I thought that was more of a Raiders action. Maybe that was when they were in Oakland.
Yeah, if you ever want to take a free trip to Cleveland, just be in the NFL and get into some legal trouble. That's really all that it takes.
But that's really the punishment. Nobody wants to be in Cleveland.
I'm hearing now that we can hear you. So that's good news.
I'm hearing now that I should ask you what exactly were you trying to say with the clothing combination that you're currently wearing?
Thank you for noticing. I just really like the way this jacket accents my Josh Allen jersey.
Sure, yeah.
And I guess Thursday night, it's a big deal. We're going to dress for the occasion.
I could see, like, if I were a colorblind person, how I might agree that that's a great pairing.
I am a colorblind.
Well, perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
So that also explains it. It's a gold. What color is this jacket? It's a gold
like the dress.
fringe.
You know, it's obviously blue and like reddish.
If you're watching right now, leave a comment. Is my dress blue or is my dress red? I can't remember which one I was, but I was also like so appalled by the human population who like had genuine arguments in the comment section about which color it was. Because it was so obvious that some people saw a certain color and some people saw a different color, and that's just how they experience things.
And some people just could not handle that. They're like, no, I'm correct, and you're wrong.
Some people are like, you're lying. Matt Breida lines up in shotgun to the right-hand side of Daniel Jones.
Is he behind center or right guard?
Well, he's not Bryce Young, even though it does happen all the time if you ask a few people on Twitter.
I feel like they should make a trick play out of that.
Jeepers creepers.
I was thinking about it after our podcast ended the other night. Like, if I were like building my team around that guy, I would now like have a trick play designed where he comes up and like sits behind the wrong guy and like starts the play. You pretend it's in shambles, but it's actually like a direct snap to like the running back or some nonsense.
Yeah, like
the end of like
I love that idea.
Little Giants. Like something like that.
Fumblerooski or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant idea. Honestly, Miles, like you act like you're an idiot lining up behind the center, but you're really like pitch to Breida will be his first touch of the game. Oh. And he skirts out for what appears to be about an 8-yard gain. Runs out of bounds. It'll be third and short.
He is sitting on my opponent's bench in our league this year, along with their quarterback there. Who I'm forgetting, the most boring guy in football.
Daniel Jones?
Yes,
Daniel Duke-face, because he is from Duke. If you're just joining us, we are 8:17 on the clock if you're trying to sync up with us watching the New York Giants face the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, I would not recommend starting Breida in this game. I would barely, you're kind of tempering your expectations as we get a first down out of the New York Giants.
Not by Breida.
To Mr. Robinson over there in the left-hand slot.
How do you still have this much energy?
Well, he was home alone. But like whenever someone new comes, he just gets like super amped up and excited. Because like I was hanging out home earlier or Natalie was hanging out here earlier and the dog was like sleeping and I get home and then he gets over to me, then goes over to her and like bites her fingers and stuff, classic Boston stuff.
Oh yeah, good old Boston.
Rookie Jalen Hylett lining up on the bottom side of your screen. Play action to Breida. Daniel Jones looking down the field, checks it down.
Honestly, this already looks like the best. Admittedly, I didn't watch the second half of the Cardinals game, but this is the best I've seen the Giants look so far this season.
Yeah, checks it down to Bellinger. The offensive line doing an incredible job. Of course, Daniel Jones also doing a really good job. Looking deep, making probably one read deep, it looked like, and then checking down, getting the ball out of his hand fast, making it easier on his offensive line that has performed terribly, like the worst offensive line in the NFL thus far this year. Daniel Jones under center at second and short, 6:56 on the clock. Breida breaks a tackle, and that will be close to a first down. Matt Breida taking a handoff in between the tackles. I believe that'll be third and about a half a yard. Miles Francis, how's my dog doing?
Boston is into this game, I gotta tell you. He's getting on to me because I keep distracting him. I was, chit-chatting about not football, and he's like, hey, we're here for one thing and one thing only.
Oh! The Giants elect to go for a QB sneak. It was not easy sledding early on. A second effort for Daniel Jones appears to have got the first down.
4 down territory.
12 on the clock. No, they got the first down. A lot of where you are if you're on the New York Giants is going to be 4th down territory this game. Because you're going to have to score some points against this San Francisco 49ers team. Are you starting anybody in fantasy this week?
McCaffrey.
Oh yeah, of course you did tell me McCaffrey.
Yeah, McCaffrey is the only one that I have on I have several people though that I'm playing against in some manner.
Yeah, in all my home leagues, all my redraft leagues, I did not get an opportunity at McCaffrey, and I have only recently started my dynasty ventures. 2nd and 6, an out route was completed earlier for about 4-yard gain. Looks like Birdwell left of Daniel Jones, who is in the shotgun formation. Brightwell, I'm sorry. Daniel Jones receives the snap, runs up the middle, a little bit of space for him, dumps it over to Brightwell for a gain of about 15 yards. You're right, Miles Francis. This is probably the best this New York Giants offense has looked as of recently.
What was our? I know when we did our bets, had set this spread we thought was kind of crazy, but maybe.
So it was 10.5. You actually did, if I remember correctly. You actually did, Miles Francis, recommend a bet on the show.
That sounds like something I would do.
You bet, and I was going to pull this up.
That night, so.
Oh, right off the chest of Brightwell. Had a little bit of space. Would have made this second down a little bit easier. Miles, you recommended Niners under 44.5, which was a great recommendation at the time because the line has gone down a full point from 44.5 to 43.5 at game time. So, excellent recommendation. You got a great number. You got a great value. And I believe we had one other guest on the show take. Andrew did take the San Francisco 49ers game under 44.5 as well. I laid off the game. James recommended 49ers team total over 27.5.
Okay, they're going to have to get going.
So we have 3 recommendations. Yeah, they're going to have to score some touchdowns eventually, but that offense looked efficient, but that offense, unfortunately for him, took a lot of time off the clock on that drive and only got 3 points, which is actually honestly perfect for you guys. The only way it could have possibly been better is if they throw like an interception on the 2-yard line and the Giants have to start from there.
Right.
But that's
much better field position.
Yeah, you're cheering for a slowed down game, lots of running yards. Daniel Jones throwing another out route, getting the ball out of his hands in under 2 seconds, which is exactly what you have to do against the San Francisco 49ers team. However, they do not convert. Camera goes to Dayball. He nods his head like they want to go for it. Oh, he said that we're gonna kick this field goal. Jamie Gillan, former Cleveland Browns punter, holding here. I'm a big fan of him, the Scottish Hammer.
Would you agree that the San Francisco 49ers have the second best defense in football right now?
Behind the Cowboys? Mm-hmm. Is that what you're referencing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And does that change after today's news?
Oh, yeah, good point. Trayvon Diggs, superstar cornerback, out for the season with an ACL that I guess he suffered in practice, which is crazy.
Which is weird, right?
You don't usually, I mean, if you do have catastrophic injuries in practice, but usually it's in preseason when the athletes are having higher contact practices, or athletes are maybe a little bit out of shape coming out of the off season.
When you're getting the rust off from the offseason, for sure. But yeah, it definitely feels like one of your star players on defense. I mean, obviously you got to practice, but it does feel weird, like that catastrophic of an injury during a practice session.
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere. That's why I thought like maybe I missed something in the game where like he came off the field and I just like didn't know about it.
Yeah,
because I was live.
I saw somebody post a clip essentially that just showed like Trayvon seen walking in crutches during today's practice, and at that time there was no additional information. But about half an hour later, all the news dropped. I feel that's the type of thing where you just feel so bad for a guy. I mean, you feel bad for anybody that takes any sort of like season-ending injury.
Yeah, I was like, man, if we could get like a whole week of football without a superstar having a season ending.
It's been every week so far, more than one.
Multiple, yeah. We had J.K. Dobbins go down too. That he was like the least worrisome. It's like he's like J.K. Dobbins, like, who the hell cares? And we've had a lot of injuries.
Probably J.K. Dobbins and most of his family.
Yeah, but the football community as a whole was like,
the fantasy leagues were not burning up.
Aaron Rodgers.
That's where really
we lost Nick Chubb on back-to-back Monday Night Football games. I had to give myself a pep talk because after we lost Aaron Rodgers in Week 1, the football community, R.I.P. Aaron Rodgers. I was like, I lost sleep over that. So after I saw the Nick Chubb thing, I was like, man, I'm going to have to like give myself a pep talk. Like, let's go listen to a podcast, chill out.
I'm curious, with the colorblind list, did you realize that he had changed teams this year, or did it just like look like the same jersey to you?
It looks very similar, those two greens. I am red-green, so I can see yellow extremely well, though, which is really what I got going for me, if anything. I can see yellow pretty well, so... Yeah, and we're looking here, what is that, Ellis Island or whatever?
That is Ellis Island.
Miles Francis. Do you think you can escape from there, or you get eaten by sharks?
Well, Ellis Island isn't a prison. You're thinking of Azkaban. Ellis Island is where people would register as they entered the United States from the European countries.
Oh, they didn't imprison them there?
No, I'm not. Maybe I'm mistaken, but yeah, Ellis Island. You know what? They probably did have a jailing system of some sort for people that they caught that were not supposed to be entering the country. But largely, that was just a check-in center for immigrants coming into our country in the early days of our country.
Back in the 17s?
Yeah, probably really the 18s, but
okay. I'll take your word for it.
We were still pretty colonized in the 17s.
3:18
I was there,
on the clock. So long ago. Good for them. The Giants kicking it off after a field goal attempt. If you're just joining us,
wait, they're in San Francisco.
Yep.
Okay, I thought they were in New York. That was Azkaban.
Azkaban? That's Harry Potter.
Yeah, you're right. Alcatraz.
Alcatraz.
I'm gonna stick with Azkaban.
I told you it was a prison. We got there eventually.
I thought they were in New York. What a smug asshole I am.
Yeah. I thought you were joking when you said Azkaban the first time.
Nope. That was just
That's
me.
That's definitely Harry Potter.
Me confusing Alcatraz and Harry Potter.
And two much better announcers than us. Chatting with each other. Kirk Herbstreit.
Probably no Harry Potter talk.
Probably 0% Harry Potter talk.
This is just cross promotion. We have a show coming up on next month.
What's that?
We have a Harry Potter themed show coming up. We're just promoting.
That's right.
This is cross promotion, dude. This is all planned.
We do.
Yeah. You don't think I actually thought it was Azkaban, right?
Who are you playing? Who are you playing in that Harry Potter
Luna
show?
Lovegood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're being a lady.
I'm being a lady. Who are you being?
Professor Snape.
Nice.
Yeah. Got to get that tone down.
Sure.
I want to be actually in character this time, as opposed to. I guess I was sort of in character as Thor, who you got me booked on. Shout out to you. Good
Hell
for
yeah,
you.
dude. Glad you're able to take advantage and kill it.
Yeah. Yeah. Also went well. That was a hot crowd. Also got thrust into the headlining role. You backed out, and then she just gave me the same role. So that helped a lot too. Oh, a beautiful ball to George Kittle.
Oh, that's not good. I'm playing against him. Let's not throw that to him anymore.
15 yards or so down the field. Brock Purdy puts it in the perfect spot. There, George Kittle coming out of a 3-point stance. Interesting route.
Why is the tight end position so stingy on points in fantasy football compared to the other?
It's been that way for... Last year was particularly one-sided, where it was literally Travis Kelce and everybody else. Handoff to Elijah Mitchell, who has gone onto the field now. You don't love that if you're a Christian McCaffrey manager in fantasy football. But... maybe we're keeping him healthy. Looks like Kyle Juszczyk is also on the field, lining up as a tight end on this play, the right-hand side of the field. It'll be a play action to Elijah Moore, and then Brock Purdy throws it away.
That was not a well-thrown ball, and
Elijah Mitchell.
Was really an interesting choice to throw in, to even attempt to throw into double coverage.
That was a throwaway, Mr. Miles Francis. He was just playing make believe. He's trying to get rid of the ball. Had some pressure in his face. This Giants defense, this Giants defense holds him here on 3rd and 8, forces a punt. The Giants could have a lead in this football game.
That's insane to think about.
Could you imagine?
That's a bet I would have lost all the way.
We are watching the Giants, San Francisco 49ers, 1:42 on the clock, 7 on the game clock, on the play clock rather. George Kittle lined up next to Purdy in shotgun. Throw to the left-hand side to Jennings.
Shy of the first down, but according to their statistic, in 4th down territory.
Yeah, we'll see the decision that they make. It looks like Brock Purdy and the Niners are running off the field. They believe in their defense here, or they believe in their punter to pin him deep. Interesting decision here out of Kyle Shanahan. If you are a Giants fan, so this is all you need to know. You don't need to know analytics. If you're a Giants fan, you're please punt it right now, right?
Yeah.
You're not. If you're a Giants fan,
this is a victory for the Giants if they punt this ball. Yeah.
Well, no. If you're a Giants fan, you're if they keep Brock Purdy out there and they get in a big set and hand the ball off the middle to Christian McCaffrey, you don't like that because you know they're going to get it. You want them to punt, right?
Yeah, and also I think just literally from your morale standpoint, nobody's predicting you to win this ball game.
Punts away.
Inside the 10.
Gray picks it up. Great tackle by Ronnie Bell. 44 seconds on the clock. Great play. Get another beer, Mr. Miles.
I am, sir.
Okay. No, actually,
got 3 open.
I still got 3 open, so
yeah.
we're in good shape. 44 seconds left in the first quarter. I don't think Kareem Hunt will affect Mr. Jerome Ford's usage much.
I think Jerome Ford is going to be the big winner of the people who picked up on fantasy this week. If you were able to pick up Ford in your league, I think that is going to pay off.
He went for 96% fab in one of my leagues. After everyone called me crazy for taking 50% out on Puka Nacua in all of my leagues. Everyone was like, what the fuck?
He went for 50% in our league, and I legit regret not bidding more as I look back on it.
I feel like that's a big overreaction from the fantasy football community. I am a big believer, obviously, because I over Nacua in every opportunity that I had.
I think that'll pay off in the long run.
Yeah, it's hopefully he's like my 4th highest exposure in best ball fantasy, and where I was getting him was like 18th round. So he might win me a lot of money this year if he stays healthy, and he produces literally half of his current production. If he, for the rest of the season, produces half of his current production in fantasy football, like that's a massive win at where I got him. I do also have him in Dynasty, which is like I got the best wide receiver in this draft in Dynasty, and I got him with like what was probably like a 22 round pick or something crazy. That's like crazy. That. Yeah, I feel really, really good about Puka Nacua and what his prospect for the rest of the year will be. Very disappointed in Jackson Smith and Jigba.
We talked about that on Thursday or Monday, Tuesday, whatever day we talked about it. Today's Thursday, but yeah,
we did.
JSN is definitely somebody that, I mean, he's available in my other league, and I was looking to upgrade my bench, and I just decided to pass on him because it just didn't feel like it was going to be there.
Yeah, you'd be better off taking someone like Josh Reynolds, like a breakout veteran over JSN. You know, granted, maybe if DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett go down, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a look at Mr. JSN. But even then, I'm more excited about a guy like Jake Bobo or something like that. So my dog's freaking out. I don't know if someone's here or not. Mr. Furman is supposed to be joining us soon. Safety. 35 seconds left on the clock.
They're going for that.
So I guess that's why you punt it, right? You pin them deep.
Reload your score page.
Oh, good job, Caleb B. Davis, producing.
To get promoted.
Yeah. I also figured out how to do a scroll situation.
Oh, that's cool.
On the bottom of the screen, so now it's like if somebody joins us, it tells them what the hell we're doing.
What are we talking about?
What the fuck are we talking about?
It tells them what we're talking about.
Run up the
middle. You're gonna put yourself out of business.
Feels like that'll be the end of the first half. Feels like they are trying to get a little bit of space to punt for these next 2 plays. They're not going to try and play offense at all. So I guess that's why if you're a San Francisco 49er, that's why you punt there. But still, I kind of hate that decision, honestly, to not go for it.
I feel like when you have all the tools that you have in that field position, you're kind of showing a little bit of cowardice. And again, I was saying earlier, I think that the morale boost that you give the Giants in that situation is psychologically a disadvantage. I think that you're so much better if you go up there and you're like, we need to make it a yard, and we got McCaffrey and Debo.
Yeah, give it to Juszczyk, right?
You got so many options. Is the point. And I guess strategically speaking, this looks like it's going to pay off to be a good decision, but ultimately, psychologically, you're basically laying down and saying we're not as confident that we can punch it 1 yard forward on you guys.
It's a real bitch move.
The worst defense in the league so far.
Well, I don't know about that, but pretty damn close.
Haven't they given up the most points allowed?
As a fantasy defense? I don't know.
No, I meant legitimately points on field, because they gave up 40 against the Cowboys alone.
That's a good question to ask, Mr. Miles Francis. I wish Let's Caleb B. Davis, look that up from us remotely. See if that works.
Why isn't Caleb here? We have a chair. I can't even sit in the fucking chair you called because you're not here. What's up, dude? Come on, Caleb.
He called in. He called in late. He couldn't make it.
That's why you're amateur producer.
Yeah.
Amateur producer.
Amducer. Apparently, though, the audio. I've been playing around with the audio. The problem is not having someone watch it live. So it's almost, in a way, better for the actual production value of the show that Caleb B. Davis is remote, but. We are going to try and give him a call at halftime, talk to him a little bit, see what he's up to.
Insight.
But yeah, we have been working on different audio things, trying to figure things out. Took me like an hour today to set up this whole situation, just with all the I had a cord that didn't work. I couldn't figure out why my podcaster couldn't connect to my laptop.
It's all the tech difficulties, man.
Restarted everything 3 times, just a bad cord. And here we are.
That's frustrating.
Now they can hear us. I have different settings. The first time we had this, I had the settings differently, but every time we yelled, it cut off the audio pretty hardcore. So it sounded really weird because it was an exciting football game, actually.
You yell a lot. I did notice. You're a yeller.
Well, I like yelling when I have a reason to yell, but this has been a pretty.
You can tell your girlfriend's been out of town because you're yelling a lot more.
Yeah, well, you got to get it out somehow. Matt Breida, left of Daniel Jones in the shotgun. Darren Waller in the bottom of the screen. I don't think he's gotten much work yet this game. And just a little bit of extra space for Daniel Jones and the New York Giants to pump this ball away. Yeah.
But still, again, 3-3 on this is not where I expected this ball game to be even a little bit.
Yeah, but the Niners are about to get the ball back probably exactly where they left off, like at midfield, and you just feel bad about that.
It's almost like ellipses on their last drive in a weird way.
Ellipses. ... Oh, so they just dotted it. And
if you think about it, their last drive into midfield, and instead of it being the end of the drive, they're like you said, they're probably about to get the ball back exactly where they have it. So it's like a weird continuation.
Wow! Except that Jamie Gillen kicks an absolute bomb.
Jesus!
For what felt like was that a 60-yard kick, fair catch at the corner?
Is this another pro soccer player they signed? What's up?
No, he's a rugby guy, and the Browns cut him.
He's got rugby hair. I can see
the Browns cut him, which I actually had a Jamie Gillen jersey. I think Natalie actually threw it away, but. Yeah, I used to have a Jamie Gillen jersey, and now he's not for the Browns. Now he doesn't play for the Browns anymore. I was a big fan of him. Rugby guy.
Are you opposed to wearing jerseys for players after they've left the team?
It depends. It depends on what you're working for. I have a Romo jersey still that I rock all the time.
Yeah, that's fair. The only actual jersey I own, I got a gig hosting football watch parties for Dave & Buster's 2 years ago, and they bought me a jersey to wear, and I picked out, and it was Ezekiel Elliott for the Cowboys. And I still wear it, because I don't care that he doesn't play for the Cowboys anywhere. I still think it's a good-looking jersey.
Yeah, I more wear mine, ironically, you know? Yeah. For the most part. Although it almost did come in handy, because I did go to the Jets-Cowboys game. 14-13 on the clock, 5 on the play clock.
Oh, this last weekend you were there. Nice.
Yeah, and I went there originally. Brock Purdy drops back, throws over the middle, passes tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it falls to the turf. A boring game so far, honestly.
It has not been great, and you've already said it, but as a McCaffrey fan, I'm not enjoying what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah.
Boston's here to tell us he's also upset with the way that the 49ers are playing. The defense has been doing well.
Defenses have been playing well.
Ooh, look at that well-placed hand by that D-line.
Big old hand swatting that all away. Big old bit.
They do look like they're swinging like tennis rackets, basically.
Their gloves are disturbingly large. If you ever seen a regular glove,
yeah,
on your own human hand, and you see the type of gloves that they have to wear to get around their hands, like Larry Fitzgerald.
It's giant. It's insane.
It's messed up, and it's honestly not fair. You shouldn't be allowed to have that big of hands.
You never really realize how big a football is until you hold one, because you'll see them on TV, and it's they're just oh, fake.
Ooh, Deebo Samuel gets RKO'd over the middle, but it is a gain of 8. third and short. Yeah, I like using like small balls, but you know what'll really give you a lot of perspective is when you see Deuce Vaughn holding a football and it says like his whole body.
Yes.
It is impressive how the quarterbacks can like even in like I do, give Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts shit because they play in Philadelphia and Buffalo, New York, and they can't like hold a football when it's raining.
It's tough.
That's tough. However, it is impressive in general. Flag on the play. Is that going to be... Oh, legal man downfield.
Oh.
Wow, what a big break for this New York Giants team.
Jeez.
The Niners coming out and struggling on this first drive. Maybe Dayball's all the way back, Miles Francis.
I don't know, dude. I'm thinking that somebody is a scab for the NFL. This is clearly well written, and they should be on strike right now.
That is funny. How do you write a script? Maybe that's what happened to Aaron Rodgers is the script writers are on strike, so
they're saving his big story for next
week. Like purposely wrote a bad script because they weren't getting paid enough or whatever. Do you know any writers by chance, Miles? All over the middle, Kittle.
I would say like I'm not like good friends with anybody that does that professionally, but I know several writers that are currently like I've had on my podcast several writers who are currently sitting on the picket line.
Not in SAG.
No actors, just
Writers Guild.
Yeah.
WAG. George Kittle got up kind of gingerly after that play.
Ooh.
Looks like he kind of came down on his hip or his knee a little bit hard. Didn't look...
Yeah, that hit, like, you can see the way, like, his leg folded under.
He's on the field.
Awkward.
He's on the field. He's fine. He's got a little bit of a bruise on his leg. Brock Purdy screen at Deebo Samuel. Got a little bit of room, and he's got the first down. And out of bounds, about 20 yards down the field.
I am going to say Deebo Samuel is somebody that I was expecting to tank a little bit this season compared to his last few, and that has not been the case so far.
It looked like the trainer there shoved Deebo Samuel out of the way, and I believe it was a female.
Oh, come on, don't cut that off.
Well, we're going to have to rewind it if that's the case, because if I saw what I thought I saw... There was a female coach on the sideline who tried to just body Deebo Samuel at the end of the play here. Okay, we're rewinding it.
We're going to back it up. Go to the tape. Go to the tape.
We're going to go to the tape here.
You're going to need like 30, maybe 40.
Yeah, we're going to go back here. Amazon Prime Vision, not impressive, really.
Okay, here's the play.
In terms of Prime Vision, not great in terms of being able to rewind stuff, if I'm entirely honest. So there's... Who is that?
He kind of ran into her.
Is that what happened?
It looks like they just had like the... I mean, I'm not saying she didn't bow up a little bit, but it felt more to me like they were just kind of in each other's path.
Okay. That was kind of weird, though, right? It was a weird interaction.
It was a strange interaction, I'll give you that.
And we're going to...
You can still tweet about it. I know that's what it's all about.
I'm going to try anything after what happened last week.
Hell yeah, dude.
George Kittle, incomplete.
You know what would be really crazy is if it were scripted and you could fast forward and you just see him, like, working out the scene.
3rd and 15.
Amazon fucked up and let us go too far in front.
And we're attempting to get live here.
Do you see what I mean? Like, she did kind of push him, but, like, I think it was more of a, like, oh my god, there's a giant person coming at me, which Debo's not giant, but compared to her, he is.
Yeah, she almost got Debo'd. Christian McCaffrey, run up the middle.
Oh, come on, keep going.
Tripped up.
Did not get far. Didn't look like.
It's like a gain of 5 on the play.
I'd really love to see him just bust out, like, a huge touchdown, like, midfield run, like he does sometimes.
We're trying to gain...
Is it not? There we go.
There we
it's
go.
Showing live now.
Yeah. Amazon Prime, not super impressive in a streaming app. 8 seconds on the play clock.
Their delivery is fantastic, but outside of that...
Yeah. Shout out to Mike T. Amazon driver, friend of mine. Also, we'll be hosting an open mic with him tomorrow. Elijah Mitchell tackled behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be another 3rd down and long. So they should just throw a screen to Deebo Samuel, right, for another easy first down. Brock Purdy, handsome young man. More handsome than Tom Brady, honestly, coming out of college into the NFL. Tom Brady, did you see him? You see him when they retired his jersey or whatever?
No, I didn't.
His face looks different. I'll tell you that much. Mr. Boston's back. Screen pass Christian McCaffrey, and is that going to be another first down? Jeez, oh
first
Pete.
Down, 18
Third
after.
and 13, so 2 third and long conversions on simple screen passes, and that is your argument against Brock Purdy as a top 10 quarterback in the league. It's like
without his screens,
this play would have been stalled. Granted, perfect ball, perfect timing, so you got to give him that, but pretty routine play for even an average
it seems like he's doing well with all of his short connections, and as long as he has these two getting those yards after catch, he'll be just fine with that.
And he's down Ayuk, who's arguably his best threat on the team right now. Christian McCaffrey pitch outside, just loses his footing.
Oh, it looked like there was potential on that.
He looks frustrated, or he looks sore already. I can't tell. Christian McCaffrey, number 23, trying to find a referee to throw the ball to. John Lynch, picture of him, general manager of the San Francisco 49ers, up in the press box right now. Great tie, great pocket square. Or not tie.
He's not even wearing a tie, dude.
Great jacket, I meant to say. Just like mine, great
compared to
jacket.
Yours, sure.
What? This is Louis Vuitton. Not really. This is what comes up if you search fake Louis Vuitton jacket in the Amazons. Big face mask.
Yeah, there's a big old.
That's going to be a big old fine too for whoever did that. I couldn't tell who it was on the field.
He looks a little pissed.
Well, yeah, because he just got his head ripped off.
Oh, he's smiling.
Don't smile, dude.
Yeah,
you're gonna get fined.
You're so fined.
Maybe he's laughing about how much money he just lost. Yeah. he's like, my old lady ain't getting that kitchen remodel.
Oh yeah, that's a dirty rip right there.
That is a dirty rip. Christian McCaffrey, where's his helmet tight compared to most running backs? Most running backs' helmets would have flown off in that situation. What a nerd. That's for a nerd. Holding. Oh, it's going to be... Wow. So that's why he was laughing. He got a free face mask on Christian McCaffrey. Plays offset. They're going to replay the whole down. And Christian McCaffrey is going to have a sore neck for nothing. Was he the guy getting held too? Is that why he was laughing? Let's see. That's a hold for sure. And then he kind of tackles him from behind. But that was not the guy who face masked him on that play. So he will get a fine. Christian McCaffrey will need to see a chiropractor at half.
Nice time to plug
my chiropractic office. I'm a chiropractor, by the way, if you're watching for the first time.
Keep going. He's getting touches. I like that, but...
Operating out of Dallas. I
want him to cross that end zone.
About as good as you're going to get out of that block scheme. 3rd down and 5. We're in the gold zone. 8:16 left on the clock. Christian McCaffrey stays out there. You got to love that if you are a Christian McCaffrey manager. Tonight he's already got 22 snaps, 45 rush yards, 25 receiving yards. So yeah, I'm thinking that'll do, Mr. Miles Francis.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Let's see how we're doing points-wise so far.
Goes out in motion. Christian McCaffrey does. Go check downstairs for us, Mr. Boston. Ball to...
Did he get it?
Bell.
They're calling that a touchdown.
I think they're calling it a catch.
I see a flag.
Out of bounds. Go ahead and host the show for me for a second, Mr.
Yeah,
Boston.
dude. Absolutely. This guy is clearly scoring. No, I'm curious to see if this is going to get called back. I think Jamie's cat is causing a disturbance downstairs. Which, shout out to Meatloaf. Good cat. Defensive offsides. That is a touchdown. Defensive offsides. They do get the touchdown. That was completed to Bell, I believe.
So that was a free play too.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was the second play off of the McCaffrey face mask, I believe.
Update on the noise downstairs. It was the cat, like I thought. Yep. She was digging through the wine opener bucket for some reason. Okay. Not sure what that's all about, but hey, that's cats for you.
heard of a booze hound, not a booze cat, but I'm happy to see Meatloaf's doing well. Oh, that almost got blocked, it looked like.
Extra point, good. My cat is drunk. We're having a good time. We saw a football touchdown. So James Brewer, that's 10 points on the board in the first half. You got to get 14 if you're gonna beat 27.5 by my math. So
we're actually only at 8 points with McCaffrey right now, which puts them at under projection for the moment, but only by a little bit. And there's still a lot of.
Is that in our point per first down league, Miles Francis?
That is in a half-point league. That is not in our PPR. It's a half.
And you've only got 8 points, huh? In a half PPR.
Mm-hmm. I guess 9 carries, 45 yards, 2 for 2 receptions.
Okay.
For 25 yards.
Well, that's a good first half for anybody other than Christian McCaffrey.
Correct.
Really.
That's about half of what he should be doing.
Yeah, you're wanting 30 points out of Christian McCaffrey for where you take him every single week.
On the other hand, George Kittle, who is very highly projected, this is in our full PPR league. George Kittle had a very high projection for a tight end this week. He's currently sitting at 3.5 points, which puts him very under his projection.
He's been blocking a lot this game, and that's really what you got to worry about when you get George Kittle. Is he is incredibly touchdown dependent. Had a good fantasy year last year, but pretty much solely in part to touchdowns. And touchdowns are, I don't know if you know this, Miles, tough to get.
Tough to get for sure.
In the NFL.
Way even more difficult, arguably, in fantasy.
Yeah, and they're just not a reliable stat. It's not something you're going to be able to do in the NFL year after year. That's why you typically will chase volume plays over talent plays, guys that are getting a lot of touchdowns. Because touchdowns are valuable, you know. That's what makes guys like Austin Eckler so valuable, is their knack for scoring touchdowns for their particular team. But when you're talking about a tight end, like a receiver, a pass catcher, and their touchdown reliability, it can vary greatly.
Probably Gronk was like the only one in recent history that I can think of that was just almost guaranteed money.
Well, and Kelsey, of course, recently. But yeah, him and Gronk have kind of owned the fantasy and kind of broken the fantasy landscape for a while. I love these graphics on Thursday night. They really make me happy. These are
fun. They're doing a Full House parody at the moment. That's cute.
It is cute because they live in San Francisco, right?
They do. That's the whole thing.
What do they do for a living in that show? Because that's a massive San Francisco house. It's like a $4, $5, $6 million San Francisco house, right?
I don't remember what Danny does, but I know Uncle Joey was like a TV show host with like a puppet beaver or something like that. So he was in the showbiz at least. There's probably some money to be made there.
Okay.
I mean,
cut it out
enough so that you
And then Uncle Jesse was just like.
He just owned a motorcycle. I think that was considered a job in San Francisco in the 90s. Had a motorcycle, had a lot of hot girlfriends.
He did. Even on the show, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of his
Until
thing.
He married homegirl who ended up having her kids like at that college scandal recently, where she was essentially paying to have her kids accepted to colleges they didn't deserve to be attending.
Oh yeah, that did happen. There was like weird stories with that, with like water polo teams like being invented, like
yeah, like just like suddenly like not only is there a water polo team, but there's like a really good water polo scholarship.
Yeah, like pictures being made of their high school that also didn't have water polo. It's like, oh, we're gonna put them on scholarship.
They didn't have a pool, but you know we got good video editing technology nowadays.
7:49 on the clock, 10 on the play clock. Danny Jones in shotgun. Breida to his left. Breida goes out into the flat. Scrambles out to the left. Takes a sack. Tries to throw the ball away. How's that going to be called? Miles Francis. Greenlaw on the pressure. They're talking on the field. The referees are, as we zoom in, even though we're on Prime Vision. Don't appreciate that. Just...
Caleb, just to be clear, I don't have Deebo Samuel. I just think he's having a better season than I predicted that he was going to this year. I do have Christian McCaffrey.
So he's going to be down. Nope, they're going to call that a throwaway. Threw it out of bounds. Be second down and 10. Referees holding up the play. Why wouldn't they? What do they need to know? Oh, they're resetting the play clock. Okay, interesting.
It does look like the Giants' defense is just not going to be able to hold this San Francisco offense. But I think the more impressive thing is how well the Giants so far have looked against this, as we've already said, very strong San Francisco defense.
Lots of time to pass there, and Daniel Jones connects with Breida. This Giants offensive line really thus far has been the story of today's game.
Is it a different five guys than 2 weeks ago? Like, did they just swap places with the practice squad?
It must be. I don't know. Maybe Dayball taught him how to block overnight or something. But
look at that. That's a good looking pass too.
Oh yeah, I mean, great. Daniel Jones is playing great right now, but he's getting time. He's getting time from his offensive line, which is really surprising.
So important. Such an important part of this.
Bosa lining up on the left-hand side, opposite of the right guard. And, there's the pressure up the middle. Daniel Jones almost breaks out of it, but that'll be a sack on the play. Just as we were talking about how well that right guard held up well against Bosa on that play too.
Not impressed with this defensive celebration. Lacks creativity and excitement. Looks like they're just kind of know they're supposed to be happy.
That's Hardgrave.
I like it. I like it when you have somebody that really showboats in this situation.
Yeah, I could have used a little bit more of a choreographed celebration.
Yeah.
You just did a circle.
Yeah, he looks like he's doing an advert for the Disney Channel.
Nah, that's kind of lame. Jamie Gillen, is he going to have another 80-yard punt on this one too? Yeah, he will. Pins him, switches the field, pins him back in 25. So super awesome that the Browns just got rid of him for no reason. Love that, especially after I bought his jersey. Hargrave, I may have started him in fantasy. I don't entirely remember. I almost never even look at my individual defensive players unless they're injured or on bye. So
we were just complimenting this O-line, and they did just let that happen.
They sure did.
Collectively, across this game, it's been more impressive.
Yeah, if you were to tell me, hey, they're going to hold this team to 2 sacks in the first half, I'm like, oh, the Giants are going to kind of keep this one close then.
Yeah.
If you were to tell me that before the game. They have not been running the ball at all, have they, the New York Giants? They've been passing.
They have zero faith without Saquon, it seems.
Yeah, and well they kind of
passed to him a couple times, Breida.
They kind of get away from Saquon very early, at least in the first game that I saw. And then, of course, he gets injured in the second game. I don't exactly remember when he was injured on.
Which is why he's not here tonight. Yeah, I want to say it was second half.
It was a bad ankle injury. Looked really, really bad. They originally said it's just going to be 2 to 3 week thing, but man, did that look uncomfortable as he walked off the field with that ankle injury last week playing the Cardinals. We're watching a very handsome Justin Herbert commercial. He's been on a lot of TV boxes. He got some sort of other deal.
Yeah, he's definitely got a good manager, whoever's getting him these contracts for product placement.
Well, it helps when you're a superstar young quarterback and you live in LA.
Yeah.
First of all, that seems to help, and that was a SoFi commercial too, so that also kind of makes sense. But Justin Herbert, in my Superflex Dynasty League, fell to 10th overall. I was happy to take him. I was kind of bracing to have to take Lamar Jackson there. Kind of bracing for impacts. I didn't really like taking him in the first round, but you kind of have to in a Superflex situation. He fell to me. I was like, oh, yes, please. Justin Fields with the next pick. Can't be feeling good about that.
Yeah. You're going to get some fun scramble yards with him, but
in Dynasty, it's like, hey, is this guy going to be the starting quarterback for this team in 2 years, right?
Right. That sort of feels like a hotshot move to, that you're still looking for your franchise quarterback. Maybe this guy will make some crazy magic happen, but you're not looking at him to be your Tom Brady, your Peyton Manning, anyone like that.
Yeah, and we are looking at a Tommy John surgery right now. Talking about Brock Purdy and his elbow. It's a left elbow that they're showing us in the diagram. That's kind of, that's not good.
Is it supposed to be the right elbow?
Wait. Never mind. That was the right elbow. I'm mistaken.
So you had the wrong elbow?
Yeah, it's a UCL. It's a UCL surgery. So I thought that was supposed to be the radius. Anyway, Brock Purdy drops back, past Deebo Samuel.
Oh, he drops it.
Pressure in his face. Deebo drops it. And if you have the San Francisco point total over in this game, you are cheering for a touchdown here. If you have the under, which someone here did recommend in the room, you're cheering for maybe
the under is 44, right?
44 when you recommended it.
We still got a long way to go.
We got a long way to go in this game. And you're looking pretty all right with what you've seen so far. You got a great number. Close at 43.5.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy in shotgun. Christian McCaffrey not on the field. Nope, that's not Christian McCaffrey. That's Elijah Mitchell.
He hit there at the end.
Looks like it'll be a first down. Dump to Elijah over the middle. They're going to knock him. They're going to place him short of the first down.
He came down on that shoulder awfully awkward. It doesn't look like it phased him at all. But
Kayvon Thibodeau on the tackle. Yeah, he kind of rolled onto it. I think he'll be all right. McCaffrey back in the game, 3rd and short. I wonder where this ball's going. Lines up under center, but then shifts back into shotgun. Calls Deebo Samuel in. Christian McCaffrey for a first down and probably a little bit more. Yardage. Wow! Christian McCaffrey gets in the face of the corner. Big stiff arm. Showing a little bit of swagger out there, Mr. Christian McCaffrey. I love it. Bumps it outside. Great block, but by, I believe, George Kittle right there.
Dude, he did. Like, if I'm that defender right now, I'm feeling a little embarrassed that I just got manhandled.
Well, yeah, but honestly, he got the tackle.
Fair.
And he's a cornerback. He's not getting paid to make that tackle necessarily. But yeah, big run for Christian McCaffrey. Big first down for Christian McCaffrey. What do you think, Mr. Boston? Oh, we got another handoff to Elijah Mitchell. Oh no.
Right there.
See, that's what you don't want to have out of your corner right there. Bobby Okereke on the tackle. 4:32 left in the half.
You can kind of see a little bit of frustration building on some of these defensive players. You can see that they're not happy with the momentum that the 49ers are starting to get here.
Yeah, I think this is kind of what you got to expect going into the game, though, if you're the Giants. Oh, that's why they were frustrated. A big holding that kind of sprung that play for an extra 10 yards or so. Deebo Samuel in motion. Another handoff up the middle of Elijah Mitchell. This one handled very well.
Yeah.
For a gain of 0. 37 on the play clock. 3:56 on the game clock here if you're trying to sync up with us.
Talk about a tale of two teams they have coming up. San Francisco going against the Cardinals next week and then the Cowboys the week after. That's going to be two very different game plans.
That'll be their first big test. That's the one thing we do have to keep in mind is that San Francisco, week one can lie sometimes. They smoked the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ever since then, them and the Cowboys have not really faced a legitimate football team yet, in my opinion. Brock Purdy takes the ball in shotgun. Tipped in the air, and oh my goodness.
Bell gets the catch.
And that always seems to happen. I always say it. That stuff seems to happen for good teams like the San Francisco 49ers and the Chiefs, where a tipped ball over the middle, of course, there's a wide receiver there just waiting to catch it. Kind of a dangerous throw in the first place. Over the middle to Deebo Samuel. Jackson reads it perfectly, who just missed that tackle right before. And the ball
what a catch.
So perfectly just tips up right into Bell's hands. Comes down with it, 1st and 10. Inside the red zone. And they're got Deebo Samuel in motion. They give the ball
run to Mitchell.
To Elijah Mitchell up the middle.
Mitchell's getting a lot of touches.
It'll be 2nd and 5. And I think we're going to see Christian McCaffrey touchdown here, Miles Francis. I think this is what you're going to get right here. If I could live bet, if you can live bet right now, I would live bet a Christian McCaffrey touchdown. He's not on the field right now, so you got to cheer against it right now. Kyle Juszczyk goes into motion out of the shotgun right-hand side of Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy pointing at the linebacker here. They might not run a play here. They might let it run to half, or the 2-minute warning, rather. Yeah. They're just goofing around trying to get people to jump. And that'll be a 2-minute warning here. Close game. But the San Francisco 49ers fixing to make this a 2-score game going into half, not trying to score too early. They're going to have a rest. They're going to bring in Christian McCaffrey. They're going to give the ball to Christian McCaffrey 4 times, and it'll be for a touchdown. I have no doubt about it. Let's live bet Christian McCaffrey, and let's live bet maybe the San Francisco 49ers money line before it gets out of hand, because this game is about to get blown wide open. We're watching a commercial with Ryan Fitzpatrick. We will go to.
You mean Ryan Fitzmagic?
No, that's Fitzmagic. Kevin Hart, funny man. I saw him live once. I've never been a massive fan of his comedy. I like him more as a comedic actor, if I'm entirely honest.
I 100% agree, but I'm blown away by his success. I mean, no hate there.
Oh, no, I'm not hating him at all. I'm just saying my personal taste.
100, I agree.
There's people who have skills across the board, and I think Kevin Hart, as just a comedic actor, is one of the best of all time. But I did see him live way back in the Disney. But what people don't understand is he's been selling out arenas for 10, 15 years if he wants to.
Oh yeah.
I went and saw him at an arena show back when I was in high school. So that would have been sold out arena show. He was already massive. That would have been 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
So
it's incredible just to think about like how big of at this point it would be hard to argue against him as being the most successful comic of all time. And again, that's from somebody who isn't a fan, but just he's sold out so many rooms for so long and will continue to do so for a while, it seems.
If he wants to, he'll sell out with how successful he is and how charismatic he is. He'll sell out shows as much as he wants to. Ring camera. You always want to get your wedding flower toss into a house on your Ring camera. That was a weird choice for them to make. You see that part of that commercial?
Wait, is that what happened?
Yeah, they're like, make sure to catch good moments. And the first situation was like people stealing a package out their front. And the funny part is they're like opening the package like porch pirates actually like don't just like take the whole box with them.
Yeah,
they were digging through it, and the lady yelled at them through their Ring camera. And the second one was,
dude, I'm porch pirating so much I don't have room for the shit I don't want.
yeah, I gotta be more selective.
Well, this is a queen size mattress. I can't use this.
No, yeah, that was a weird choice. Okay, I just tied with George Kittle and rock paper scissors.
Draw. He'll get you on the next commercial.
Oh, he has no chance. I'll slaughter George Kittle in a rock, paper, scissors. 2-minute warning. Coming out of it. 2nd and 5 in the gold zone. George Kittle lining up like an actual tight end.
McCaffrey.
That's also what's not fair if you have George Kittle on your fantasy football team in terms of production, is they actually use him as a tight end as opposed to like Travis Kelce.
There's one to Samuel.
Debo Samuel.
First.
Jet sweep to the left-hand side of the field. There is a flag on the play. Christian McCaffrey is back on the field. He's not going to come off the field if I had to guess. But he was used as a lead blocker. That's also what's frustrating when you have a fantasy asset that's good at blocking. Like even Cooper Kupp, like low-key one of the best blockers as a wide receiver in the NFL. Oh, they're going to call a hold on Williams. That'll be his only holding call for the rest of the decade. That guy never gets called for holding. Let's see. He had him kind of over the top of the head, but he was... That was a bad call. He let go.
Yeah, it does not feel like a hold.
He had him kind of over the head. He could have kind of dragged him down by the back shoulder pad, but he had the discipline to kind of let him go, even though he got off balance. That was a bad call, I think. I mean, at best, it was a ticky-tacky call. At worst, it was horrible, in my opinion. George Kittle lining up to the left again, to the left of Williams. Debo Samuel, right of... There you go. Christian McCaffrey reception to the screen from Brock Purdy. Play didn't work out.
A little yardage, nothing much.
If you're in a half PPR league, that counts as 0.6 points. So
I'll take it.
Tip of the hat to you.
Let's get an update on our points here.
We're watching replays.
George Kittle still sitting at 3.5 points in full PPR league. Daniel Jones at 2.3 points and Breda at 2.7 currently. So neither of them having a great outing. So
this has been a defensive battle thus far for both sides. Not a fantasy football wet dream by any means, which if you recommended the under on this podcast earlier in the week, you got to feel good about how this first half is going.
Pretty awesome about it, yeah.
What's 34.5 divided by 2?
17 point
something?
25.
Okay, so you're still cheering for a field goal here if you bet
Not
the
really.
under.
I'm still cheering for McCaffrey, but yeah, if you want my points total, I also am a big believer that the second half is typically going to have more run clock time. So
well, yeah, if the Niners were in the same situation at the end of the game, they would just kneel the ball 3 times, assuming they'd. There you go, George Kittle. On an out route.
Oh, he got the first, son of a bitch.
Another flag on the play.
I hope they call this one back, honestly.
Line judge appears to be calling him short.
That's at least good.
A late hit. So that will be an automatic first down halfway to the goal line.
From a fantasy standpoint, that wouldn't count for Kittle, though, to get the first down.
It will, yes. It will count as a reception. No, it won't count as a first down. No. It will not count as a first down. We're watching the replay here. Let's see how late this was. Ball's out. He drove him into the ground. That's why it wasn't a late hit. It was actually really, really bang, bang. But he took his helmet into his chest and just drove him into the ground. I think that's a good call.
I disagree. I think this is a situation with...
They've been calling it that way, though.
I think in general, these calls have gotten out of hand. I feel like it's unreasonable to expect somebody's job to be to sack the quarterback and then to have to turn it off in the middle of a collision.
He didn't have to turn it off. I didn't mind the hit. I didn't mind the tackle. But when you hold on to the guy and don't let go, what they want you to do is let go and not fall directly on him. They made that penalty. They made that in reaction to the Aaron Rodgers fractured collarbone when the guy took him and drove him into the ground. What they want them to do now is wrap up and roll or kind of wrap up and tuck under. So that's just a new rule in the NFL. I guess not a new rule anymore, but if you watch old school games, you'll see tackles like that all the time. You'll kind of like cringe, like, that's not good. And I honestly like them calling that, especially with Brock Purdy. A lot of the younger quarterbacks don't get those calls oftentimes, and it's really not fair to them when,
consistency is definitely a nice factor.
And they've been pretty consistent about that call thus far this season. Christian McCaffrey hand up the middle, and that'll be an easy-ish touchdown if you're Christian McCaffrey. Maybe not easy if you're Miles Francis or myself. But that's a touchdown, and he's going to get the ball to his offensive lineman. You love to see that. You love to see offensive linemen get a little bit excited.
Love, dude. Give them their flowers.
Sometimes I'll see an offensive lineman make like a pancake block like 30 yards down the field, and they'll just like get up and go to the huddle. Like, if I was that offensive lineman, I would have a pancake block dance.
Yeah, 100%.
If you have a sack dance and that's your whole job is to pancake block people on run block plays.
And you've got 5 dudes, you could put on like a whole ass like coordinate. You could have a flash mob in the middle of the game.
Well, they did do a keg stand on a touchdown celebration for the Colts. It would have been like 2 years ago with Quentin Nelson.
Nice.
But the funny part it was called back. It didn't end up being a touchdown.
At least they finished their dance.
And rightfully so, it didn't deserve to be a touchdown, but it was hilarious. Christian McCaffrey touchdown.
That does put Christian McCaffrey at 16.2 points in the first half, which obviously I'm a fan of seeing. Yeah,
if you've been taking Christian McCaffrey over Jamar Chase all offseason, you got to feel like a genius right now, right? Jamar Chase, he'll get it back together. Joe Burrow, they'll figure it out, although I'm not convinced that Joe Burrow plays this week.
I do not have him on. I have him on my bench currently.
I don't think Joe Burrow plays this week.
I honestly think that's the right call. I don't think that I think he came back not 100%. I think that he came back out of practice. It obviously didn't make their camp this year. There is just a lot of problems with Joe Burrow right out of the start. And simply put, I think at this point you're 0-2 for the season. You take that chance on that third week to say, like, you know what, worst case we're going 0-3. At least one of these options will have a rested quarterback for week 4.
I think so too. I think Anthony Richardson, they're not going to play him even if he clears concussion protocol magically. I think they're just going to hold him back. We'll put Gardner Minshew out there. You signed him for a reason. Gardner Minshew, he's a competent, one of the best. I mean, he is also a meme, but people also forget that he's like legitimately good at quarterback. Like,
he can do it. He can do it for a week.
He started for Philly for a while. Exactly. He can do it for a week. Tough to game plan for if you're playing against them, trying to game plan for.
Who do they have on Monday? Who do the Bengals have on Monday?
The Cincinnati Bengals. I remember they're 1.5 point favorites, but I can't think of who the Bengals are playing. Bengals and Joe Burrow schedule is as follows, as I'm Googling it right now. Oh, they're playing the Rams on Monday night.
That's right, and we both predicted the Rams are going to run over the Bengals.
At Cincinnati, we recommended the Rams money line. I think pretty much all of us did, with the thought of it being, I don't know what the line currently is, but with the thought of that being a free roll, essentially.
Yeah, they're very evenly matched.
And Andrew kind of pushed back on me. Andrew said the line was already calculated that Joe Burrow is out, and I disagree.
Yeah,
I think the line calculates Joe Burrow in, but Joe Burrow not 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it's Joe Burrow 100%, like mid-season form Joe Burrow, that line's a lot closer, like maybe 4.5 or maybe 3.5. If at home against the Rams, with the Rams playing as well as they have early on in the season, Puka Nacua. But if Joe Burrow's out, what part of that Cincinnati team makes you confident that they'll be good?
Even with
that they
Joe
can
Burrow,
beat the Rams.
I really think even with Joe Burrow,
that's what we were thinking. Like, Joe Burrow by himself with the calf injury that we already know about, I still think the Rams should be favored in that game.
Easily.
And you're just getting a screaming value. Just the way the Rams have played. Their offensive line is playing well. Their new running back, Kyron Williams, is playing awesome. Puka Nacua, the rookie, they're a very young team. And Matt Stafford, if he stays healthy this season, people forget, he won a Super Bowl a few years ago.
Yeah, he can do it.
He can sling the ball. He can play really well. And man, when hopefully Cooper Kupp comes back in a couple of weeks, sky's the limit for that team. Daniel Jones in shotgun throws a quick out route to Campbell. He doesn't get out of bounds. Be a 2-yard gain, and they're going to play fast here. 131 on the play clock, 130, 29. If you're trying to sync up with us at home. Daniel Jones running a no huddle here. Breida to his left-hand side. Darren Waller over the middle.
Shy of the first.
Doesn't really matter, but the play clock runs. Minute 10
they're just
on
trying
the
to
clock.
get into field goal range is all they're doing right here.
Well, you kind of like that they're running a little bit of clock here, honestly, because you don't want to punt and give 49ers the ball too early. So you're telling Daniel Jones, take the sack. It's fine if you don't have somebody open. And he does, Darren Waller, and now you take a timeout.
Mm-hmm.
And now you take a timeout if you're Brian Daboll. Now you take a timeout if you're Brian Daboll. You only have one timeout left. I see why you don't do it, but man, I would have liked them to take a timeout there. 40
Reset.
On the play clock. Daniel Jones in shotgun. He receives the snap, pass to the outside, and that's going to be caught.
Oh,
by Darius Slade. Looked like a throwaway.
And out of bounds.
Stops the clock, and look at me, I'm the idiot.
No.
Brian Daboll is like, Daniel Jones got this. He's gonna
trust your quarterback, dude.
And this is so
Daniel
smart.
Jones, so how in the hell could you?
This is so smart, right? Because that's a fast play, and pretty much worst case scenario, unless that corner makes an incredible play, Daniel Jones saw the corner had his back to him.
Yeah.
He throws it up to his man. Worst case scenario, incomplete. Clock stops anyway. You save a timeout. Best case scenario, you're 10 yards closer, 15 yards closer to field goal position, which is kind of what you're looking for here.
They're really pushing that field goal position. You can
out route. Oh,
that fall
loses
is
his
not
balance.
Good.
The clock
now
runs.
You call it.
I don't think so. I think they're gonna. Nope, they did call the timeout there. Good call, Miles. Timeout. That'll be the last timeout of the game, or of the half, rather.
This gives you the potential, though. You can try to get a punch and then do a quick. You have your field goal unit ready to go. Try to get off a quick snap or spike spike the ball, get a stop, or you run the clock out on your next two plays.
Yeah, you don't want to run the clock out at this point. Looks like Fred Warner on the sideline.
Well, I'm just saying they don't have to worry about giving the ball back to San Francisco at this point.
Yeah,
without an interception.
If San Francisco gets the ball back here, they're just going to take a knee. They're not that. Who is that? The safety. I believe Ofanga is his name. On the bench on the sideline, or on the bike rather. Okay, now we're going back to Prime Vision here, live on YouTube. Darren Waller on the bottom of the screen on his lonesome. Ball goes right to him, and he drops it over the middle.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a design play for him.
Man, that stinks. And now I'm just remembering that I am starting Darren Waller in one of my leagues.
When you're in as many leagues as you are, it feels like you're going to be starting every player at some point.
Well, that's kind of what I like about it. My assets are diversified enough. Like, I just make a bets against some people and bets on some people. So I have like a lot of Garrett Wilson, which hasn't panned out, but I also have like a lot of Puka Nacua and Brian Robinson, Bijan Robinson. I have a couple B Robinson stacks, which I absolutely love. So that's kind of how I like playing fantasy football. I like taking a diverse...
You're the guy that goes to the roulette table and bets on every number.
Oh, and that's a perfect ball by Daniel Jones. No, that's not how I play roulette. I don't like playing roulette, honestly. But if I do, I'm putting $10 on black, and if I hit on the first go-round, I'm just going to cash out. I don't like casinos. I'm really liking this best ball fantasy. It seems like a great way to honestly make money if you kind of know what you're doing. I'm already projected to have like a 50% return on investment through 2 weeks.
It's not bad.
But I have a lot of Puka Nacua, and there's just a lot of dummies that draft on that platform, and a lot of people who just like sign up for a $3 draft and fall asleep during it, and end up drafting like 6 tight ends on auto draft or whatever. Kick is up.
And it's good.
Kick is good. 13 seconds left on the clock.
It does end at 23 points in the first half, which does put it on pace to go over the low. But again, I think that we're going to see a lot more clock management from the San Francisco 49ers in the second half.
Yeah, they certainly have a big lead here. And speaking of big leads, this is, I think, the most people who have been watching us consecutively. We've gained a few viewers. If you
they're just here to see Boston.
They must be. If you are currently hanging out with us, don't even close your browser, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah, definitely don't do that.
Please subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're going to take a break for halftime. I'm going to eat a snack. We're going to crack open a few more cold ones. And we're going to watch this game.
Get more opinionated in the second half.
Yeah, you might
I'll tell you what I really think of Daniel Jones.
Yeah, a racist tirade from Miles Francis at the after half. So stick with us. Daniel Jones could use a little bit of a trim on that neck. If I was rich, I would probably have someone come over and do that for me, if I'm honest. Like, my neck isn't super clean, but if you just got signed to a massive contract by the New York Giants this past season, massive signing bonus for Daniel Jones, maybe, you're making $44 million a year on average.
Maybe they didn't tell him he was going to be on TV. Like, no one let him know.
Well, I mean, with a face like that, I wouldn't tell him either. He doesn't fill me with confidence. I assume the Niners are going to go ahead and take a knee here, or just give like a little dump off to Christian McCaffrey for a free 60 yards. Who knows?
I would take another just half point for just because.
If you're starting in fantasy football. Again, we will take a break here at half. Richard Sherman and the pals here on Prime just joshing with each other. Nice hoodie under the jacket look. I like that look.
Yeah, that's what Jamie will be wearing next week.
I actually was thinking about having a wardrobe change at half.
Oh,
and
coming back. I was going to be embarrassed. I also brought one.
A hoodie and a sports coat.
Oh, we got a little brawling happening out here.
Oh, and this half isn't over yet because we got flags thrown on the play. I hope no one threw a punch because someone's going to get ejected, and we're going to have another kneel down. Or 6 seconds left, the Niners have a timeout. Maybe if this is a 15-yard penalty on the Giants. Oh, he's getting ejected. He's getting ejected. Threw a punch.
Who was that? Their center?
No, that was their superstar tackle, Williams. If he gets ejected on this play, that's going to be a massive penalty.
All we saw was the punch. I didn't see what caused that.
He should get ejected. That's what I love about them wearing those big helmet pads in practice is now they forget, and because they've been at practice, they've been throwing punches at each other, closed fist punches at the helmets.
He just broke his hand, regardless if he gets ejected.
That man, I don't think it's possible for that man to break a hand. Yeah, he's just so gigantic. But we will go to break anyway. As I was saying at half, I might call my buddy Caleb B. Davis, who has been producing the show sort of remotely this whole time. Fouls on the both play will be offset. They're going to take another knee. Are they going to eject anybody? Offset. Second down. They're not ejecting anybody.
Ejections.
Woo! If he gets ejected from this play, that would be a massive. That's like a let's live bet the Giants sort of situation. He is such an integral part of that offense.
I don't think that it would be that integral at this point, but I definitely think it would change the game plan.
It would change the game. They've got some pass rushers there. The Giants' defensive line has been playing great so far.
I still think that the Giants are playing better this week than they have, period, thus far, but they're still not looking good. Like, they still have a lot of problems.
The Giants?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, this is a good 49ers team. They're within 2 scores, an 8-point touchdown, and
I guess that's my point, though.
3-point field goal.
Like, they're playing as best as they have been, and you're praising them right now for being down by 2 touchdowns. Like, that's not the makings of a solid foundation for a good team at any point this season. Like, I think even if they hit their highest potential, they're going to be like an 8-8 sort of season at best.
Oh, I agree. At the end of the season, this Giants team is not going to be in the same position as they were last season, especially the division that they're in.
And honestly, I think it's going to be way worse than 50%.
I think so too. But everyone just talks about how good Brian Daboll is, and I've never really seen it outside of him transforming Daniel Jones into a franchise quarterback in 1 year. I guess that would be your argument for him. And his success historically kind of transferring quarterbacks into something good. But yeah.
I like how they got 3 white players to do a taco commercial. That's very, very good for the NFL.
I actually don't even know who this other guy is. He might just be an extra hanging out. Or is that the third Watt? Is that who that is? I don't know. Anyways, we are going to take a short break. Do not close your browsers. We'll be right back with you. Keep them open. Please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment. I'm going to check the comment section at half. If people are commenting, I'm going to talk to you guys live while we're watching the game in the second half.
I won't even be here. I'll just get ignored.
Yeah, not even talk to Miles anymore. All right, I'm going to turn on music. Miles, just do like a funny dance.
I just got Boston. You got this.
Okay. I'm trying to find my cursor currently, and it's right over here. I'm also kind of producing the show. And
oh no, we lost it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Got it.
With music playing. unmuting the mics. Mics are unmuted. They can sort of hear us, but the music's blasting. Music's turned off. And now...
Sorry for our tardiness.
We're not that tardy.
We missed. We missed 49 seconds of the second half, sir.
We missed the kickoff.
That's a crucial amount of time in this league.
And we're back. Welcome to the second half. What are we talking about with Jamie Jakes and Miles Francis here? Brightwell run up the left-hand side of the field. 13, 44, 43, 42, 41 if you're trying to sync up with us at home.
What do you think about the Amazon Prime presentation? I know you're not a fan of their interface, as you were trying to rewind earlier.
Yeah.
But in terms of their presentation, what do you think?
Good. I like the zoomed out. I like the Prime Vision, like the alternate Prime Vision where it's not as zoomed in. I feel like this is how everybody should. This should just be standard operating procedure. I feel like them being all zoomed in is old school because it's from back in the day when everyone had a tube TV. Daniel Jones running the ball at the left-hand side of the field. This is how you should watch football.
I like how they give you a lot of small bits of information that let you fill in the bits a little bit yourself. Like they put the clock above the quarterback. They don't have it like written out, like, you know, time of possession or whatever. Like little things where it's almost like anybody who's played a video game before is going to be able to look at this presentation and just kind of understand what they're giving you.
Yeah, to be fair to me though, and it's also cool when like the wide receivers light up when they're open or whatever. That's a cool feature. But to somebody so Natalie will always, Daniel Jones in shotgun, receives a snap, drops back. Pressure from in the middle. He rolls out to the right. No flags on the play, even though it looked like everybody on the defensive line got held. Ball thrown out of bounds. Be 4th and 7.
I thought you were using Daniel Jones as an adjective there, where you're like, Natalie always Daniel Jones's win, but you were just switching what you're talking about.
Thank you for reminding me what I was talking about before that play. Daniel Jones's, Natalie, will show me an Instagram reel, and she gets pumped like the Instagram reels that have like all the text on it. Mm-hmm. Like it's just like somebody dancing or whatever. And it's like whenever somebody dancing, there's text on it. I just watch the person dancing first, right? Like, because I want to see.
You can't read what's happening.
I can't read what's happening and see this person dance.
I don't like movies with subtitles in general, and it's largely because I have a hard time focusing on both like the action of the scene and then also reading.
Yeah, my brain. Yeah, if it's like an action movie and it's with subtitles, it's not like a whatever, like a thoughtful movie or whatever. Yeah, I'll have to read the subtitles and I'll be like, well, I can't like read the subtitles and see what's going on at the same time. I feel like it's just for people who are like really fast readers, like they can just look and look up and look and look up. And I'm not that. I'm not a fast reader. Natalie's pretty quick reading if she needs to be. Flag on the play during the kick, holding, receiving team. Oh, so they're going to be pinned back. Good punt. Bad penalty for the San Francisco 49ers.
Seems like a lot of flags have been thrown in this game.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad. Is that Azkaban?
That's Azkaban, dude. No, don't be an idiot. That's the Hogwarts Bridge. That's where the train crosses. You can see platform 9 3/4 on the other end of the island.
Again, if you want to see Miles and myself in Harry Potter drag perform comedy and roast each other, we're doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
In like 2 months?
Yeah, you're right. It's like 2 months.
I haven't started writing jokes yet, but I have started watching Harry Potter again, and I'm having an absolutely wonderful time.
I should do that, actually. You know, that's a really good idea.
We do have, as part of our set design, we have a little 9 3/4 sign up there.
I noticed that your boy here is in Gryffindor, which I'm in Slytherin, which is probably why he keeps buying
He is. You're a Slytherin, really? That surprises me. I'm a Ravenclaw.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Both Natalie and I are like hardcore Ravenclaw, like 99%, like basically pure.
Is Boston actually a Gryffindor?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he is. We did a whole like deciding hat ceremony. We had like all 4 of the houses. Obviously, if he was a Hufflepuff, we would have to put him back up for adoption. But we had him like run up to. We had like 4 treats, and he got to choose one. And the one he chose was Gryffindor.
That's cool.
And he is a Gryffindor puppy. Look at him.
He's a Gryffindor. Yeah.
Fucking kid looks like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Boston's my dog who we're talking about during this commercial break of the 49ers New York Giants game. that is being played.
Did you see? This is a complete jump, but I don't
That's
know
fine.
anything of it.
Doesn't matter.
Did you see that they are going to do like an animated version of an NFL game on Disney Plus? It's going to be a replay of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and who did they play in Week 1?
The Jags. Who did the Jags play Week 1? Ooh, I don't know. They just played the Kansas City Chiefs.
That was Week 2.
Why would they animate that game?
I think that they're just doing it as like you know how like Nickelodeon has become more involved in NFL presentation, trying to like reach out to a younger audience.
Yeah.
I heard that Disney Plus is going to do a like animated version. They almost look like pop figures, but basically it's going to play like highlights of the game.
Oh.
And instead of the actual players and actual contact, it will be animated.
It's like a 30-minute thing, like a 30-minute highlight or something.
I'm not 100% on the details. I only saw like somebody's like tweet about it, but they had like images and it looked kind of cool.
Did they play the Am I making that up? Did they play the Chargers Week 1?
It could also be a future game. I may have also made up the Week 1 thing. If I'm being honest, that could easily be. Let me
Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. Yeah, go ahead and look up. This would be great.
Do a 99-yard touchdown to McCaffrey while I find this out.
McCaffrey run up the middle for 2 yards. Yeah, so I think what we were talking about at half is we'll probably have Caleb B. Davis in my ears if he's ever off location again, so he can just tell me these stats without us even having to look up at it. He can just tell us who tackled who and who caught what.
I got it. It's ESPN announces giving fans an alternate live NFL game between the Atlanta Falcons and the Jacksonville Jaguars that will be fully animated in the Toy Story universe.
What?
The event is
fumble on the snap.
You got it.
Brock Purdy recovers it. Go ahead, Miles. A Toy Story animated live game?
Live game. It'll be entitled Toy Story Fun Day Football, and it will stream on October 1st at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
There's no way that animation is going to work live. There's no chance.
Here's a promo picture of it. I don't know if it's even worth... Just look up... all I did was type in NFL Disney Plus game, and this is what popped up.
Okay.
But yeah, you know what, man? I will say this: that that technology has come a long way, because it's been, I think, at least 5 or 10 years even now since they did the live animated Simpsons.
Wow! Brock Purdy makes a hell of a throw under pressure in his own end zone, complete but short of the first down. The Giants get a stop.
Another stop on the San Francisco offense.
And another chance to put some points on the board, make this a one-score game, keep us interested on a Thursday night.
Good script, guys. Good writing.
Hey, well done. Yeah. You couldn't ask for much better than this. With the San Francisco 49ers, I was telling everybody today that I talked to, they're asking me, because they asked me football questions, that my friends and everybody, who's playing tonight? Well, it's the 49ers and the New York Giants. Hopefully it'll be a good game. Ooh, contacted.
Big hit. Big flag again.
Yeah, he fumbled it, but he got contacted. So that'll be, I think, a 15-yard penalty on the play. And the Giants will have the ball almost in field goal range to start this drive, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not a rules expert, Miles Francis, but referees are still figuring it out. I think I've already got it figured out. So here we go. Calls for a fair catch. Does get contacted.
Oh, that looks like a hell of a performance, in my opinion.
Fumble on the play. No, definitely gets contacted.
Yay!
Gets knocked over. Fumble on the play.
Hold on, look.
You got to think he's not looking at it, Miles.
I don't see contacts.
The legs, their thighs touch. There you go. Fair catch interference. I think that's 15. Yeah. Good call, Gene.
I wish you'd throw it one more time. I don't think I saw contact.
Yeah, their thighs contacted each other. They had a whole little thigh rub going on between the two of them.
See, I have a thigh rub, just me. I don't need another person involved.
Well, especially when it's this fucking humid here in Texas.
Swampy.
Jeepers, creepers. It's been rough. I want to
finish up real quick, because I wanted to say on that live NFL thing on the on Disney Plus.
No, go ahead.
I do think the technology is a lot better than you're giving it credit for, because if you're a fan at all of The Simpsons, they famously did a live segment, just briefly. It wasn't a full episode, but on the closing credits, they had actually Dan Castellaneta went live as Homer Simpson, and he was literally voicing the character live. So basically, as he would talk, the computer would animate the program, and that was all the way back in 2016. So we're 7 years plus on that technology. I think they're going to very easily be able to cartoonize and maybe run it with like a 7-second delay or something of that nature.
Yeah, I think when there's 22 players on the field moving at the same time, it's gonna be rough animation. I think it's gonna be really bad. But they did have Patrick Starr on the Nickelodeon show, who crushed it. He was like, he was really surprising because he was hilarious and he was super knowledgeable and he was in Patrick Starr character the whole time. He like almost broke a couple of times.
That's awesome.
Really, really funny. And the announcers, it was a bad game. I think it was like, it might have been Seahawks Rams and the Seahawks just got blown out or something like that on Christmas Day or something. And yeah, Patrick Starr, they like had him for like a segment in like the second quarter or something, and he murdered it. And then the game got out of hand, so they got him back on. And then they just held him on for the entire second half. It was a horrible game. But the guy just started talking about like each of the players' like careers in college and stuff. And
it's amazing.
But like also being funny and like sort of like dumb Patrick Starr at the same time. And it was augmented reality. Like they showed him, they broke kayfabe after the game and showed him like with his like headgear on.
Oh, that's cool.
And like yeah, it was just like him in front of a camera, and they like augmented his face to like move along with his lip movements.
I think this is going to be a challenge. They're going to be doing 22 people and probably more than that because they're probably going to do the sidelines as well.
I'd be
shocked if they don't at least do the head coaches for each team.
If they're really going to do it live, unless I don't entirely understand what it's going to be, I don't think the technology is there yet. But I'm sure they've
I think we're going to be blown away. I think at the very least it'll be an interesting experiment, and I do think it's a cool way to try to introduce this game to just to give, kind of like when you have the alternate presentations, even the Manning and Manning cast. If you want, you have an alternative to what's presented, and I think that's cool.
But what I was about to say is I am a fan of alternate cast, and as someone who is a fan of alternate cast like the Nickelodeon cast, I love watching that every single time they do it because it is unique and fun, and I don't need an announcer like talking in my ear, like, you know, obviously I'm doing this show like right now, but
you can talk in your own ear.
I can talk in my own ear. I'd rather
You're
talk
in one,
in my
Caleb's
own ear.
in the other.
Yeah, but you don't. I like simulcast. I have no interest in seeing an animated version when the real life version is
just for curiosity.
No, I'll turn it on for curiosity. There's no way I'm gonna watch 4 quarters.
Sure,
I'm gonna watch 2
Jamie's
plays.
Gonna be so into it. It's the only way he watches football anymore.
Animated version anymore.
If Woody's not in the game, I don't even want to play.
Daniel Jones in shotgun, Matt Breida to his right, 10-10 on the clock. Matt Jones puts it up deep to his receiver. Flag on the play. That's going to be defensive pass interference.
Dude, I complimented this defense earlier. They're racking up the penalty yardage.
Darren Waller, the target on the play, didn't see where he lined up. Pass interference defense confirms what we had thought. That's going to be a spot foul. They're going to get the ball inside the 10-yard line here.
And a first down.
And a first down with a chance to score. Now, let's see how this Giants offense looks in the red zone or the gold zone. Oh, good call.
Yeah, it's pretty
good call. He didn't get his head around, was all over him, held him kind of the second the ball was even in the air. Yeah, that's a great call. Matt Breida in the backfield. Can the Giants run the ball up the middle against the San Francisco 49ers defense? And they do touchdown. Matt Breida, 8-yard run up the middle. To make this a 1-score game, do the Giants go for 2 here or not, Miles Francis?
Will Jamie get through puberty tonight?
Holy moly!
These are the questions we're going to answer on tonight's podcast.
Yeah, I lost my voice after the first one. Granted, I couldn't do the show the next day. I couldn't do the mic the next day because my voice was so bad. Hope it doesn't happen to me again. But a beautiful run.
You need to learn how to enunciate from your stomach or whatever the hell. Voice thing.
My diaphragm?
Diaphragm, yeah, that's it.
I feel like when I do that, I'm trying to make my voice sound too deep and announcer-like. It's a little bit cheesy, you know?
Yeah, I hate for something on the show to be cheesy.
God forbid. They do go for 2. Daniel Jones gets sacked. Each of them are going to get half a sack on that play.
Yeah.
Be Joey Bosa. See, he's got a cute little sack dance.
They did not give up 7. They only gave up 6.
They only give up 6, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you'd rather be within 3.
But obviously, being within 5 is still in a pretty good position for them.
Well, it doesn't really matter. The difference between 3 and 4 is massive, but the difference between 4 and 5 is virtually zero in a game of football, right?
Sure.
You got to get a touchdown either way if you're gonna win this game, right? So you go for 2. If you don't get it, you don't care. You're down 5.
Yeah, you've done is taken away your ability to tie it with a kick.
Exactly. Bingo, Miles Francis. And that's why you go for 2 there. So yeah, they don't get it, but Bosa gets half a sack on his stat sheet. And the Niners, who've been struggling on offense, I might add, are about to receive the kick.
I think we still got time. I kind of like this because I feel like it makes the Giants want to continue doing the pressure and, of course, using McCaffrey throughout the end of this game. And
Caleb B. Davis has confirmed that we sound great, I think. He's talking to us about what we're talking about. So you love that. We are live here on YouTube and on Facebook watching the 49ers. Do you like pickleball? We're watching a USA pickleball ad. And do you think it's weird that Gronk keeps having to steal valor for these commercials? Miles Francis.
To steal valor?
He has to be like, can I have USAA coverage? And they're like, no, because you have no ties to the U.S. military. And
honestly,
he's like,
it's very much how I felt about John Cena doing the whole military gimmick in the WWE because he never served in the military and that's really weird.
And now he's a Chinese shill.
He played, yeah, for sure he is. He played the Marine in the Marine movies and then immediately took that gimmick to WWE and was coming out saluting and shit. I don't know, it feels weird.
But the WWE fan base ate it up. Didn't they?
They either loved it or hated it, and that's literally what you want out of any wrestler.
Yeah.
No middle of the ground feelings. Ooh.
Did you see recently the Pat McAfee and The Rock come out for WWE?
You said that to me because you're such a big McAfee fan.
It is awesome to see McAfee on Fridays now during the season. Now that he has the infrastructure of ESPN to back him, he's doing these live shows on site at different colleges around the United States on Friday to just do a show.
I enjoyed his interview with Aaron Rodgers.
The Achilles injury?
Yeah.
Post-Achilles injury one?
Yeah, just because it was funny to see him basically being like, what the hell are you thinking, old man?
Yeah. He'll be on. I think he'll be on next Tuesday. Kick is off. Kick is through the back of
when are you going to have him on your show?
Aaron Rodgers?
McAfee.
Or McAfee?
Yeah.
McAfee won't do my show.
No?
Yeah.
I think he would.
He won't do it.
I bet you could get him to.
You think? I don't think so. I do love that show. And I love Gumpy on that show. Glad that he's back in the United States. Pretty messed up that he was gone for that long. But had to have been difficult to explain to the immigration office why Gumpy was needed in the United States. Glad to have him back. We are in shotgun formation. Brock Purdy starting this drive on the 25-yard line. Drops back to pass. Deep ball wide open. Deebo Samuel again. Breaks a couple of tackles and he's still up.
He's still up. There he goes.
Oh, just gets
24
tackled.
yards after the catch, it says.
Felt that should have been a gain of 35 or so on the play. A lot of broken tackles by Deebo. Vibes of Deebo Samuel from a couple of years ago with Brandon Ayuk off the field with injury. Deebo getting a lot of opportunities this game and kind of making us remember why he was a top 3 wide receiver not too long ago. He's also getting a lot of touches as a halfback, but
he really is. Caleb sent us a delightful video I'll check out later of Patrick roasting Russell Wilson.
Patrick Mahomes. Oh, Patrick Starr. Yeah. Pressure up the middle. Gonna get hit. Gonna go down.
Oh, he's got his little duck walk. Oh, and he's got a little dance.
It's like a Santa sack dance.
Yeah, it looks like it's Christmas at
looks
his
like
house.
he. Oh, because he had a sack over his shoulder.
There it is.
I like that. It's a good touchdown.
Yeah.
It's a good touchdown.
I would have saved it for maybe December, personally. I think it would have hit harder seasonally.
I think he just adds ho 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 at the end if he does it after Halloween. You know?
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. It's planting season. It feels like it's like gardening time or whatever.
We are about to replant the lawn. Speaking of which, Brock Purdy lines up in shotgun.
Bag of seeds. He could have gone sowing. I think there's better options for September, frankly.
Oh, and he throws it over the middle to George Kittle.
No first down. I'll take it. I know he's going to get some points.
Coming off of a sack, makes it a 3rd and short. Keeps the drive alive, potentially.
All day.
And that's going to put us near field goal range, too. That's a massive throw, even if they don't get a first down here by Brock Purdy. A big-time throw out of him. Yeah, they'll be well within field goal range, barring a sack or a penalty, going into this 3rd down. George Kittle still has it. We kind of wish he was, not as good as blocking. 3rd and 4, 7, 46, 45, 44, if you're syncing up with us on the play clock.
Go.
Brock Purdy drops back, throws it deep to Deebo Samuel, double covered, ill-advised
throw. That was a dangerous throw. Yeah, that was a very dangerous
flag
throw.
On the play. What's that going to be on? Where's that flag at? A holding. I don't know if it's offensive or defensive yet. Oh, sounds like they held Deebo before the pass was away. Yep, they're pointing to them on the replay. Deebo.
Oh, early.
Let's see if that jersey gets... Oh, yeah. His shirt got tugged pretty bad. So that's why the throw was so far off.
Yeah.
Miles, is because he got held.
Still seems like maybe a dangerous throw for Daniel Jones to make. I mean, maybe he knew he had a free shot at that point, but, I don't know, man. There was safety help over top, but... It looked scarier than it should have been. It should have been a contested catch for a touchdown. And you got Deebo Samuel against this Giants defense. Maybe that's a shot you take, If you're up 5, go and take a shot for a touchdown. But either way, Brock Purdy under center for what feels like the first time this game. Pitch to Christian McCaffrey. Up the middle.
Seems like a gain of 5 or so.
There's a couple.
It's had a quiet second half, early in the second half thus far, but has had a quiet first couple of drives here for the San Francisco 49ers.
He's sitting at 16.5 points in this PPR fantasy league.
Yeah, feels
half PPR fantasy league.
Sure feels like Christian McCaffrey is going to get a touchdown.
I would love to see that again. Obviously, Mike Shanahan looks like he's going to take a bunch of people out to camp and ask them to drink Flavor Aid. He's aging, bro.
Deebo Samuel goes into motion. Christian McCaffrey again in the backfield by himself. Brock Purdy snaps the ball, throws it off to Christian McCaffrey in open.
The first. Did he get there?
And that's going to be close to a first down for Christian McCaffrey.
Would love to see that.
I think the referee just signaled for a first down. That'll be 1st and goal, I believe. Is that right, Miles Francis? Are they within?
Let's see what happens here. What's going to be the call?
No, they're not. They're going to be within the gold zone, but not quite 1st and goal. It'll be 1st and 10 from about the 12-yard line. 6:37 on the clock. Daniel Jones looking like a dork on the sideline.
Honestly, just keep him off camera, dude. So many better options.
Kyle Juszczyk in motion. Christian McCaffrey gets the handoff off the middle for another 8-yard. Just feels like a routine 8-yard run. If it wasn't Christian McCaffrey, you'd be more excited about it, but it's just like... That's kind of what he does. He just gets 8 yards every time he touches it.
Yeah.
Did signal for a first down, even though he didn't get a first down. That's close. Embarrassing. Come on, Christian. That's a rookie move out of you, buddy.
Just for an update on the points, if you're in a full PPR league, George Kittle right now has 7.8 points. David Jones at a week 4.98. You're not happy about that. Breda overachieving right now with 9.5 points, which again he's taking over that starting position, but the Giants just have not been utilizing the run at all.
Oh, that's not good for his, sacked in the backfield. Christian McCaffrey loses yards on the pitch to the right. Yeah, if you had the cojones to actually start Matt Breida in this game, or if you were desperate enough to start...
desperation would have been a better way to
start Matt Breida, even in your second flex spot.
I could see it if you were... I was going to say, if you had 2 flex spots and you were down because you had Saquon, and maybe you have another running back.
Saquon Chubb stack.
That's a huge stack, but yeah.
I mean, you could literally have a team like that. That's not unheard of. You take Nick Chubb late in the first round and take Saquon Barkley after he signs his contract, ends his holdout early in the offseason. Shotgun alone. Another ill-advised throw over the middle, but that's a flag. Did they get another hold on this Giants defense?
No touchdown, though. That's what I mostly care about.
Target for George Kittle.
We are trying to keep Kittle out of the end zone.
Brian Daboll appears to be irate on the sideline.
What is happening with this flags today, dude?
They're talking about this a while. Call the call. If you have the call the call, buddy. What's with this referee crew today? Figure it out.
All right, let's
see.
Big
George Kittle, they're going to call that illegal contact? Illegal contact on the defense. I guess, man. Let's see that replay again. He seemed to be within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, and even if that, man, that's ticky-tacky as shit. On Kayvon Thibodeau, who typically lines up at end. Show the replay, Amazon. See, this is what I don't like. Get off, yeah. Oh, he was pretty far downfield. He was pretty far downfield. I would like to see where that ball was snapped because we didn't see exactly. Where were they on the 8-yard line, Miles Francis? Where were they? So they were on the 8-yard line. Ooh, that was a bad call, Miles Francis.
That does not feel like a good.
Oh, that was. Or no, they just got the penalty, so they moved the ball. Never mind, that was a good call. Christian McCaffrey gets. Oh my God, makes a man miss. First and goal.
Few yards shy of what I needed him to do, but we still got a chance here.
They're going to give him the ball, I think, 2 more times. You'll hear Miles Francis. I wouldn't worry. I think they're going to put Kyle Juszczyk in. They're going to put Kittle in as an actual tight end. Debo Samuel will go in motion. They'll do like a weird fake pitch to Debo. They'll give it to Christian McCaffrey. He's going to score a touchdown here. And that's Kyle Shanahan's offense. It's impossible to defend.
Mostly because of the players you have in place. But yeah.
Well, yeah, Brock Purdy lines up under center. George Kittle line up as a tight end. Debo Samuel at the top of the screen, not in motion. They play fake to Christian McCaffrey. Oh, boy. All right. So now they're going to have a 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. If the Giants get a stop here, the Niners will elect to kick a field goal to go up by 8, just the way their defense has been playing. Why wouldn't you? And they... You know what? If they would have handed it off to McCaffrey,
he had a lot of room over there.
It's almost like the Giants knew that they were gonna. They knew that play call, Miles Francis. There's no way they didn't know that play call because they weren't
the whole way.
They weren't. Yeah. They were literally giving that Christian McCaffrey run to them.
Is that just good? What was it? Weird cut. Is that just good?
Good luck or
film from the Giants team?
Oh, or it was just an entirely blown play by the Giants. And if they would have handed it off to Christian McCaffrey there, he would have just walked in. And the Giants get a stop here.
This is going to go to a field goal.
It's going to go to a field goal, and we got a 1-score game.
It's wild, dude.
Late in the 3rd quarter.
Who would have thought this? No, literally none of our panel on Tuesday would have guessed this.
I'm having a great time. I was going into this.
You predicted that we'd be playing Catan by this part of the game.
Turns out we didn't even get enough people here on site to play Catan. You know, with all this automobile issues and stuff.
Caleb will play over the phone.
Playing over the phone is miserable because most of the fun is yelling at people to go faster.
Yep,
kick is up, kick is good.
You're yelling. It's not your girlfriend or your football. It's your Catan.
Yep. So we got 32 points in total on the board. How you feeling, Miles Francis? Over under 34.5 that you recommended earlier this season.
I mean, it definitely feels like it's going a different direction now, doesn't it? I don't feel like this is going to be the end of the scoring for this game.
This is a massive drive for the New York Giants, just for their whole season.
It's a test, for sure, yeah.
Can you at least keep it close? Can you honestly, just get a field goal.
I think if you can look like you at least belong on the field at this point, and I think a field goal is the metric. Again, really, a field goal doesn't actually do them a whole lot of good, to be honest. It doesn't, they still have to, at the end of the day, they're going to need a touchdown if they want to win this ball game.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to win this game.
I don't either, but if you're coaching this from the perspective of, I want to win this game, you need a touchdown. I don't think that there's a chance that you're going to get 3 field goals and hold the San Francisco Giants the 49ers to nothing.
I think if presented with the opportunity to kick a field goal, the Giants kick a field goal to keep it close here. With the thought of getting under 8 points, so a touchdown will get you the lead.
Because that's what Vegas needs. But no, I really do think that it's a situation that if you're like talking about making it respectable, 100%. And I do think that at this stage, if the Giants can, they will kick a field goal with the intention of getting another drive. But again, I think that if you're sitting on the sidelines right now in New York, for the New York Giants, you need a touchdown to turn this around. That's the only way you win this game is with a touchdown and some great defense.
Yeah, but as a fan who already knows the outcome to this game is going to be the 49ers are going to win, I want them to just keep it close.
Sure.
So we have something to talk about. Sador Sanders on that KFC commercial, getting paid for it as a college athlete. What do you think about that, Miles?
Exciting. I think it's about time that college athletes can make some money for...
Hell yeah. Exactly, you know. If we're just being honest,
if you look at the statistics of how many people get injured before they ever get a big paycheck in the NFL.
Oh yeah,
let's get them their money while they can.
Yeah, especially when you have like a superstar running back in college and they're not getting any money whatsoever outside of a college education they don't have enough time to even utilize.
Right, they're getting passed through.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to just be like, "Hey, my name's Jamie Jakes. I play football for." The Alabama Crimson Tide, give me some money.
Pay me now, please.
Yeah, I'll do like a shitty Safe Flight repair commercial or something. I don't know, like easy. Yeah, just let's get these guys taken care
Still
of.
Valor with Gronk. Let's go.
Kicking the ball off here, 4:08 on the clock. The San Francisco 49ers are up 20 to 12.
That will
not pay off. To about the 19.5-yard line. Did not elect for a fair catch. I still don't think we've seen a fair catch on a kickoff yet after the rules changed that I can think of. And
That's I've watched coach's protest, I think.
I think so too. I think we've watched virtually every play from every game. And also it's like a returner's protest, right? He's like, no, fuck you. I'm going to return this ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm on this team to do.
Yeah, it's like, that's my whole job. I'm not calling for a fair catch. If 3 other people get hurt, I'll go in as running back. But like otherwise, this screen
is my role.
Pass for a gain of 2 yards. Dayball getting Daniel Jones in a rhythm early here on this drive. But there's a flag on the play.
No, in this game,
you cannot afford a flag.
Feel like I said it earlier, and I feel like I've been even more justified in that opinion that the flags are flying heavy in this game tonight.
It appears they picked up the flag. No flag on the play.
Okay, maybe not this one.
Thought they were discussing another 13-second flag conversation. 30, 29, or 3, 28, 27, 26, 25 on the play clock if you're trying to sink in with us. And there's a pre-snap flag, false start on the offense. Let's slow this game down a little bit more.
Yeah.
Miles Francis. That false start just feels crippling, right? The New York offense hasn't been very explosive at all outside of some pass interference calls this game. Definitely a good call. Massive mental error for the Giants there. 2nd and 13, 20, 19, 18 left on the play clock. We're watching the Grinch.
Does everybody think it's Christmas here in San? Does Christmas start in September in
Hell yeah,
San Francisco?
It does. Hell yeah, it does. Miles Francis. Also already selling decorations at Costco. Out route for another 4 yards. I guess, still trying to get Daniel Jones in a rhythm, but that's going to be 3rd and long after that false start penalty. Wan'Dale Robinson on the out route, lining out of the slot.
I think if you're the Giants coaching staff too, to be fair, I think most of the flags have actually gone against San Francisco, but like you mentioned, that flag there, a false start at this position of the game,
feels crippling.
That's a mental error you cannot make at this level.
You can't afford.
You can't do it.
The Niners can afford it because they're a better football team and they can move the ball on offense. But
if you're not, though, as talented as the 49ers, if you don't have Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel, you at least have to get a snap.
Daniel Jones drops back.
We got out of
creates a little bit of separation.
We get another flag. This will probably be a late hit on the quarterback.
No flag on the play, and that's exactly why this Giant. Oh, there is a flag on the play. There was a flag,
yeah,
and it is on the Niners. Oh boy, both teams can be offsetting, holding offense, and roughing the passer. Oh, holding on both teams. Each penalties are declined. It'll be a repeat of the 3rd down. Yeah, this Giants offense feels like an offense that cannot be behind schedule. That's why Dayball's playing so conservative on first and second down here, just trying to make manageable third downs.
3rd and 9 for this team just doesn't even feel possible. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. That's why you have to stay ahead of schedule.
I wish I had the stat in front of me of what their biggest completion of the night was.
I'm saying. I think the biggest completion of the game was the pass interference call deep to Darren Waller, if I remember correctly. Darren Waller lines up at the bottom of the screen. Ball goes up to him on the sideline, and it falls to the turf. Back shoulder throw. Didn't look like it was...
They did try to get a Waller.
That bad of a throw. Difficult throw for Daniel Jones, but had the right look for it. Felt like maybe Darren Waller didn't read that ball quite well, Miles Francis. What do you think?
Let's see the second look here. There's definitely... I think that was just good defense, really.
Yeah, good defense, but it felt like Daniel Jones put it a little bit more on his back shoulder. Either way, they're a little bit off rhythm there. It seemed like that's where Daniel Jones wanted to put that ball, which was outside of where...
Trying to give their defense another...
Jamie Gillen has had just an awesome game thus far. Another fair catch. Puts them back on their negative 31-yard line. Where the San Francisco 49ers.
Why is Christmas happening everywhere?
Dude, it is Christmas. Deal with it.
I want Halloween. We get a month, dude.
I do like Halloween. Natalie loves Halloween. That's why
Halloween's superior. That's
we
why
have
all
our
this cool Halloween shit around us.
We have our cool set. How do you like the set, by the way, Miles? We got a couple things hanging up. It's not as cool as your set at home. Looks great, by the way.
I disagree. I like your set. It's very, very cool.
Well, but you got like WWE stuff and stuff that my wife won't let me do to my house. You know? What the fuck is up with that? Yeah. Just give me something. You
just gotta do it.
To be fair to her, this is also Natalie's backdrop to her work from home job.
Yeah.
And she works with for a European country, so putting up a flag tapestry, American flag tapestry with a flaming American football across it. Maybe not the most relatable thing while she's talking to all of her British bosses, but...
See, I actually have a green screen that will go in front of all the stuff that you saw on Tuesday, so I can put whatever I want back there. I use that a lot during COVID for stand-up comedy, but most commonly I just end up performing in the Simpsons living room.
Yeah, we are in commercial right here. Yeah, that set is pretty cool. You have a great setup, great lighting. I noticed, good microphone. Thanks, man. Like very high production quality. Felt like a piece of shit, honestly, hosting that show with how much better production quality your set had, calling remotely as a guest versus how terrible mine looked. So that's why we're trying to, upgrade this set right here.
Yeah, you gotta. I like the multi-mic setup you've got. There's this is a grass is always greener situation because I've got a good setup for a Zoom call or whatever program we were using or whatever, but no, you've got a much better setup for what I consider to be the more fun part of podcasting, which is this right here when we're actually face to face in the same room. Interacting, and that to me is going to make for a far better experience for anybody who's still listening.
Yeah, it is a little bit choppy but it's also good that it's choppy because it forces you to listen to one person as they're talking, and it prevents you from talking over each other. So that's the good part. There is a little bit of delay with the platform that I use. I have noticed that I've gotten used to rather quickly, but it is also good to on a Tuesday night when no one's going to be able to make it live anyway, to be able to record something, put some content out throughout the week while we're waiting for the fun live stuff. What do we got? A shot at Preston Jones here, Brock Purdy's high school coach. Very handsome man himself. Seems like maybe a father to Brock Purdy, if I'm entirely honest. Let's not check any
crew in San Francisco, it turns out.
Let's not check any. Look at his cool glasses too, man. Yeah. If you live in San Francisco, it's one of those things where it's just there's so many hot people around you, you just have to step up your game. Yeah. No matter where you start from. For sure. You're just yeah, at least I'll get tan, right?
At the very least.
Just make a little bit of an effort. First time out for the San Francisco 49ers. Not exactly sure what's going on.
What is going on? Oh, he's just checking his phone. For a second, we had a Weekend at Bernie situation happening in the crowd.
I think his phone's blowing up right now. He's like, hey, motherfucker, you're on...
Yeah, this is his moment.
You're on Prime right now.
We should tweet at him right now while he's got his phone in his
phone. He just got 75 text messages on that phone. He's like, they're talking about me on the show right now. So he just leaned over and told his wife or whatever. Elijah Mitchell in the backfield. Deebo Samuel on the bottom of the screen. George Kittle lined up as an actual tight end. Play action. Roll out to Kittle. He catches the ball.
No first down.
Goes up the field for what's going to be close to a first down. They already got second down on the graphic, which is lightning fast. We were talking about this last Prime Vision. The Amazon Prime, that is the one thing they exceed at, is how quick they get all these graphics going. It's definitely not manual. It's definitely like an AI situation. It'll be 2nd and 2, about an 8-yard gain for George Kittle on that play action rollout. Again, Elijah Mitchell in the backfield. Kyle Juszczyk motions in as a fullback on the play. Pitch to Elijah Mitchell. Great blocking up front.
And the first down for Mitchell. I wonder who has Mitchell.
Gain of 10 on the play.
Mitchell should be having a good game.
He's getting a lot of opportunity. It was the Christian McCaffrey show last week. In week 1, it was a little bit concerning if you're a Christian McCaffrey manager because he did perform extremely well points-wise, but he was limited in how many touches he got. And maybe it just feels like when it's a close game, they're going to ride Christian McCaffrey. Mm-hmm. But if they feel like they can win it,
they can let off the gas. Why not?
They trust Elijah Mitchell enough to be an above-average running back behind an impressive offensive line and an amazing running scheme and offensive scheme that Shanahan utilizes. It appears...
So he's only sitting at 4.4 right now. So.
Yeah, you always feel like Christian McCaffrey on this team is going to get the goal line snaps too.
Yeah.
That's a unique thing with Christian McCaffrey versus a lot of bell cow backs. Even a lot of bell cow backs, by their teams, or rightfully so or not, are considered as just like the middle 20 backs, and they'll put in their big bruisers to punch in that ball in the end zone when maybe they should, just keep Jahmyr Gibbs on the field or whatever. Although that's a bad example because David Montgomery's been playing extremely well, been a very productive, kind of like I expected that Lions offensive line can block, and I don't think either of those running backs has been behind an offensive line like that. Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs being a rookie coming out of Alabama. Are we on a timeout here or something? Did we have an injury on the field? Yeah, we do. We have an injury on the field. Should have gone for a beer run. I feel like I still have time. He's going to take some...
Another beer in that cooler if you want it.
Yeah, it seems kind of warm, though. I'm going to go downstairs. No, I'm not. Maybe after this quarter we'll do a quick beer run. I'll have you just babble to...
Sounds perfect. I'll just read random fantasy scores.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect. We'll have... at the end of this quarter...
I'll see if there's any interesting tweets.
At the end of this quarter, stay tuned. We are going to have... fantasy talk with Miles Francis while I get a quick beer or something from downstairs. It'll take me 30 seconds. I was kind of like in the mood for a wine. I have an open wine bottle in the fridge. We can have a nice... Oh, that's going to be a bad injury. Okay, Miles, babble.
What's happening here?
Injury on the play?
Yeah, he's holding his elbow. It is number 88. He went down. He's going up. I don't understand. I guess you're legally you have to go down maybe to be considered injured. That seems like a weird rule, but it definitely seems like it was under their instruction that they went with the take a knee situation. Even though it is an elbow injury, it does look like there's been a lot of heat going on between the two teams tonight too. There's been several skirmishes, for lack of a better word. And this coach, I don't know who this bald coach on the New York Giants is, but he is an angry man. I feel like he's probably hurt people in the past and had to make some apologies for some of those actions just based on how he's reacted to a few of the plays. You know anything about this cat?
Talk about Kanye West?
I'm talking about the bald coach from New York.
I just heard you making apologies for certain actions.
No, I feel like he's the type of guy who has anger issues. He's probably had to make some awkward apologies to people for things he said in the moment. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, a lot of these footballs, it is a boys' club at the end of the day. A lot of these head football coaches are a little bit of loose when they get a little bit tipsy.
Sure, yeah.
I'm sure.
I support that. I think it's good to be honest. I just think that maybe just be direct instead of angry. He looks like he's an angry elf.
I thought it was fucking Halloween, Miles Francis.
I'm just trying to stay on theme, bro.
Brock Purdy alone in the backfield. Both halfbacks George Kittle.
No. Stop
Stiff
that
arm.
shit.
A lot of yards
worse.
after
That
the
could've been
catch for
worse, but that
George
was
Kittle.
good.
And that feels like the momentum's change that we were waiting for the Niners, just to turn it on here as the clock comes to 0 in the third quarter. Just like, yep, the Giants hung around for commendable in that they hung around for as long as they did. And now all we're really focusing on, like I said at half, we know who's going to win this game.
Yeah,
Let's not pretend.
I don't feel like there's ever a question about that.
100% chance the Niners win this game.
Now, is that score going to hold is going to be the real question of
That
the
is
night.
what's going to keep us. That and fantasy football is really what's going to keep us interested in the rest of this game, because after that Kittle catch, it feels like it's absolutely over.
I would really love to see Kittle less involved from here on out. After that play, that did bump him up to 14.5 points at tight end, which he was predicted for like 17. But still, I don't love that.
Feels like we might get an Elijah Mitchell touchdown on this drive.
And I really don't love that.
Yeah.
I really don't love that.
Yeah,
at
I think
all.
they're going to keep him in. They're not going to risk, after seeing what happened to Nick Chubb for the Cleveland Browns. They're not going to risk.
In I guess in the long term, I feel like that's probably for the best. And I mean, McCaffrey's already gotten 18.6 points, but also
Half PPR?
Half PPR.
Yeah.
But McCaffrey also has got the potential to bust.
That's kind of why half PPR is stupid, because he's dominated this game, and he deserves a lot more than 18 points. That's why I bring it up
here. He's 4 for 4 on reception, so that would have only been another 2 points in a full PPR.
Yeah, but how many first downs does that guy have? It won't show you on that app. You'll have to go to the different scoring format. But I'm a big advocate of point per first down, because first downs are important in real life, and receptions aren't necessarily important in real life. That's why I think running backs are more valuable than like a lot of analytics will tell you. I'm a big fan of point per first down. It's frustrating seeing somebody just get a reception for 2 yards and that counting more than a run for 3 yards for a first down, in my opinion. Just more fun way to play fantasy football. And more representative of what is actually important in real life. That's also why I'm a fan of 6-point passing touchdowns. We figure out how many point per first down.
I thought it did usually tell you if they got a first down in the little.
It will, but only you have to go to your league that has point per first down for them to show you that.
Which ours does, so I'll just go to us.
Yeah, D-Town. Well, that'll be point per first down and point per reception. That's a fun scoring format.
Yeah, for sure.
If I'm honest, especially if you have Puka Nacua. You know what I'm saying?
So I told you it was 18 point something in my other league. He is currently sitting at 25.6 in a full PPR league.
Full PPR, full point per first down as
Yes.
well. How many first downs does he have?
What team is he on? He is on Gina's team. So let me go to her real quick.
And we're coming out of commercial break here, 49ers and the New York Giants. Talking about our fantasy football leagues.
So let's see. McCaffrey in our league, 15 carries for 74 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 rushes, 3 rushing first downs, 4 for 4 receptions for 32 yards with 2 receiving first downs. So he's got 5 first down points.
Brock Purdy deep to George Kittle, flag on the play. Oh, that's Christian McCaffrey. Which is funny that their body types are similar enough to
right?
make me confused for a
the
split
hair,
second.
you'd have no idea.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was him. I thought I saw a hair.
That would have been a sick one to have him catch.
Before the pass, holding on the defense. Christian McCaffrey got held. How often do you see a running back get held on a play like that when he's on a corner route? Like, that's crazy. I love Christian McCaffrey. He's awesome.
He's a wild dude, man. He's a different animal.
Great hamstrings on him. Great butt. Cute little route. Someone else got held. It wasn't McCaffrey.
So close.
That was actually really good coverage. Actually, that was brilliant coverage.
If he would have just held on to that.
That was a linebacker man on coverage. That was a great play out of him. Unfortunate that someone else held on the play. Yeah, see, I think we're going to have an Elijah Mitchell touchdown here. Elijah Mitchell gets the handoff up the middle, gets stuffed by this
Gets completely stuffed.
Giants defense that's keeping him. That's McFadden. That's the linebacker that just broke up that pass with Christian McCaffrey on the previous play. Tackle for a loss. 2nd and 12 So if you're a Giants fan, if you're actually pretending like you have a chance to win this game, you're hoping that you force a field goal attempt and you either block it or they miss it. Because that's really the only thing that's going to keep you in this game. So you can't feel confident about having multiple stops on this San Francisco 49ers offense in the fourth quarter here, especially if the Niners are down. Brock Purdy drops back, screen pass to Mitchell, and another loss on the play, this time a loss of 4.
Mitchell is getting stuffed down twice back to back.
Making it third down and extremely long, and it doesn't put him out of field goal range, but it definitely makes the field goal attempt a little bit more uncomfortable for you if you're a Niners fan.
Those goalposts look a little narrower from that distance.
Ooh, and Brock Purdy missed a wide open wheel route on that play. Holy guacamole. I mean, maybe that's just a good play by Holmes and he was man and he just broke off of his man and got the tackle for a loss, or that was just a wide open receiver missed by Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy out route, just making it an easier...
Another Kittle pass. God damn it. Stop throwing to your tight end.
Just making it an easier field goal attempt. It'll be 4th and long. They're going to kick a field goal here. 6 yards shorter. I'm sure statistically makes this a much higher percentage kick.
And more importantly, it puts it into a two scoring range.
Right, yeah. It's like, touchdown seals the game, but just the way your defense is playing, holding the Giants to 12 this deep into the game. And if you recommended the under 43.5, you also love them running down the clock here, kicking a field goal. You love it even more if they miss it. Jake Moody snap is down, straight down the middle. Great.
Easy peasy.
It's got a little snake-esque to his kick. We got to remember that for later on in the game, potentially, when we are cheering for that under to hit or not.
Got the interesting firework graphics going on there.
Yeah, the fireworks are a weird choice.
It feels weird because fireworks are a thing that actually happens at stadiums, and it kind of makes that less special.
Right. I was actually very thrown off the first time I saw it, as I'm like, oh, that's weird that they're doing fireworks right now at the end of this quarter.
And admittedly, I guess I associate it more with a baseball game, but that would be very disappointing to me if I were at a baseball game and then I found out that they'd replace the fireworks that you see with fireworks that they just digitally impose over it.
Yeah, that's also a weird thing. The new trend of light shows as opposed to fireworks. Granted, I got to admit, I do feel that fireworks are a bit played out, and I feel like kids don't even really like them as much as they used to anymore. I don't know if they just kind of played their course it's like old Chinese technology, right, or something like that.
Well, it's like when we didn't have our pretty screens to stare at 24 hours a day. It was neat to have that sort of visual distraction, but now it's whatever, dude. I can put fireworks over my halftime show.
Yeah, but it's also the explosion. Maybe it's just the improvement in sound technology. Everyone just has been exposed to very loud sounds from an up close range where you feel it in your chest. Because I feel like that was the allure as a kid.
Boom.
Was the boom, the big loud noises. That was the cool part. The visuals were fine, but being near the big boomy stuff, or maybe it's just I don't know.
I was always way more of a fan of the fireworks that I got to use myself than of going to a fireworks show.
Really?
If I didn't have the risk of blowing off a finger, it just wasn't it for me. Do we have illegal fireworks here in Texas, the big ones that you can shoot out? Yeah, so I grew up in Michigan, so we would have to hop the border and go to Ohio to buy our fireworks. Those heathens in Ohio.
Yeah. And some of the fireworks stands would actually ironically make you sign a waiver to be I'm not going to light this. I can sell it here, but you have to legally agree to not light them off in Ohio.
It's literally the same law for guns.
Essentially. Yeah. Pretty fast and loose.
That's the real reason kids aren't into fireworks. They get that sensation of booms happening near them a lot more now in school.
I was going to make that joke earlier. I said, never mind. I'm glad that you're the one who told it. Yeah, I didn't want to bring it there. But, hey, we're watching the Giants play the San Francisco 49ers.
In Texas,
two-score game.
What do you expect?
What do you expect out of us Texans? Here recording live in Dallas. Kick is away.
They do have weird rules, which I find interesting, that you can only buy fireworks here within a certain time frame of New Year's and the 4th of July. So you you'll see permanent fireworks stores, places like even like near Austin and Waco, and even outside of Dallas, but they can literally only open like 6 weeks out of the year.
Well, that's why
crazy to me.
That's why it's so comforting for someone who like lives in the hood near 4th of July and on New Year's, is that you can just tell yourself those explosions nearby your house are just fireworks. 2 nights
a year, it's just fireworks.
Well, they start lighting them off pretty early in the season, if I'm honest. But anyways, Daniel Jones in shotgun, Matt Breida to his right. Daniel Jones steps up into the pocket, gets contacted. Flag on the play. Feels like holding.
Does not feel good for the New York Giants. Let's say that for sure.
Starting behind schedule again. They're trying to push the ball down the field, and rightfully so. And this is where the wheels are going to fall off, because they've done a great job in the first half of staying ahead of schedule as an offense. Face mask on the offense. Oh boy, they're going to be pushed really, really far back.
Deep. Yeah, it's not a good penalty at all.
Into their zone.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
Instead of holding him, he grabbed him by the face mask to block him. And yeah, that's going to be a problem going forward for this Giants team, is they're not going to be able to push the ball downfield, because for how long it's going to take these routes to develop, Daniel Jones is going to have 3 people in his lap every single play. Daniel Jones drops back, gets the ball out of his hands in under 1 second to Darren Waller. But like for a short gain, clock keeps moving. You gotta love it if you bet the under of this game right now, just the way this game is developing.
If the Giants score here, it's going to get dicey, but I think that outside of them scoring a touchdown, you're going to see a lot of clock management coming from the San Francisco side.
Well, and forced clock running by the Giants, right? Like, they're the one that needs to be pushing the pace of this game a little bit, and they're just forced into a shell because they can't block enough for Daniel Jones, where they have to have the ball out of his hands in under 3 seconds. That pass away in exactly 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. I don't think you've seen a single. There is no 5 count for Daniel Jones on any.
No. Snap. And if he has the ball for 5 seconds, he's getting tackled for a sack, or he's running for his life up the field. It'll be 3rd and 11 on this play. Yeah, see, it's just like that one face mask call is just crippling.
And this feels like it right here. This feels like their. Technically,
I think they punted if they do get stopped here, but I think you're right. Like, if you're trying to talk yourself into the rest of this game and you're like a Giants fan, you're like, you got to get a first down here. And he does get the ball away.
But it's missed by Waller. That looked like Waller just missed.
A high pass. Let's see the replay to see if that, a little bit high over the middle.
Let's have a look.
Had enough time. Waller was definitely open, was able to separate.
Got the pass. Got them space
on a crossing route, and Daniel Jones just missed him.
It also feels like Waller should have caught that, though.
Like, he should have.
It was high, but ultimately
he's getting paid to catch that ball. You're right, but Daniel Jones, that's a pretty. I realize you're running for your life all day, bud, and punts away. Another good punt, deep, not fair caught though.
If they
tackled on the 30-yard line, they got to get a stop here.
If they score on this drive at all, this game is over.
And this feels like Christian McCaffrey drive. Like, hey, let's not mess around anymore. Let's go ahead and get in field goal range. Put the last nail in there. And let's get Christian McCaffrey a couple more touches this drive after. I think he felt like he was on the bench for that entire drive. Elijah Mitchell.
He was on the field a couple plays. But
he was.
Mitchell got the large percentage of touches on that one.
Now we're watching a commercial about Peacock. The Continental, is that what
Is this based on the John Wick universe?
I don't know.
Like the Continental Hotel? Yeah.
Good call, Miles Francis. A John Wick guy, I see. I've only seen John Wick without audio on as Miles slips away to go to the bathroom.
Dude, John Wick's dope as hell. We'll talk about that in a second.
John Wick is dope as hell. You are watching live. What are we talking about? My name is Jamie Jakes. If you're watching now, please subscribe to the channel. If you're not watching now, if you're watching in hindsight, we will try to remember to keep you in rhythm with what's going on in the screen. Gonna tell you what time is on the clock. thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for watching this game. It is rather boring. We are cheering for the under here. Under 44.5, which is recommended on our channel by a couple guests, not myself. I was 4-1 in week 1. I think I have 7 bets that I recommended in week 2. Not something that I usually like doing. But it is early in the season, and I do feel like I'm seeing the board extremely well. I've been watching almost every play to every game, watching everything live with NFL Sunday Ticket, which has been a blessing to me, being able to watch 5 games at a time on 2 screens and then Red Zone on a 3rd screen is pretty game-changing. Now we're watching an Andy Reid commercial. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes eating some sandwiches, and it's making me hungry, if I'm entirely honest. Jake from State Farm. Also like a cross-promotional chicken nugget commercial. Miles, I'm hungry. I haven't had much to eat. I don't think I've had anything to eat today, if I'm honest.
There's a sandwich in every beer, dude. You're good.
That is true. Trying to drink my food tonight.
Liquid diet, man. I hear that can be a good thing.
Well, it
Isn't that like the Miami diet or something like that?
Depends on the liquid. If it's urine, it's definitely the Florida diet. Bill Belichick is playing the Jets this week and is only a 2.5-point favorite.
That doesn't make any sense.
It is at MetLife. The Patriots looked horrible in week 2, I guess, but like that offense can operate semi-competently. Like Daniel Jones isn't that bad. It's just a line that didn't make any sense to me, and I think I'm going to be proven right. I did listen to my favorite sports gambling podcast, and a lot of the stuff that we recommended, they were kind of on board with.
Deebo Samuel gets another first
slant pass to Deebo, and he's breaking tackles. Right, he's impossible to take down up the field. Getting up slow, reaching for his chest.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. Maybe hopefully he just fell on the football, got the wind knocked out of him. Didn't look bad at the time.
But you're definitely not happy to see this if you're a San Francisco fan or a Deebo manager.
No, you're not. Let's see the replay. A little bit of pressure in the face of Brock Purdy as he drops back from under center. Gets rid of the ball quick. Deebo runs through the tackle. Oh, yeah, he just fell right on that football.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not any rib damage. Hopefully he did just get the wind knocked out of him.
I think it's going to be a better angle.
He landed directly on this football right there. Yeah, that's kind of up in his rib cage. I hope he's okay. Man, if you lose Deebo Samuel and you already have Brandon Ayuk out with what sounds like a pretty bad shoulder injury. Sounds like a bad one. They had an x-ray on it. And they're like, man, this is bad. Let's get a CT scan on it. And when you're looking for extra damage because you don't really understand like why the injury is as bad as it is.
It does feel like this has been a hell of a year for injuries.
Man, has it been. Like, I mean, Christian Watson and Cooper Kupp haven't even played yet. 2 guys that I was super excited to see play this season, especially with how good Matt Stafford looks, how good with Jordan Love looks. Haven't got an opportunity to see them on the field yet. Lost Aaron Rodgers, which virtually until the Jets, who I guess think they're going to make the playoffs still, until the Jets trade for Jacoby Brissett or something like that to get somebody semi-competent on that field to throw to Garrett Wilson. Feels like you lost Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers if you had them in your fantasy football lineup when Aaron Rodgers went down. But to be fair to Zach Wilson and the New York Jets, that offensive line is so bad that I don't think, as optimistic as we all were for Aaron Rodgers going into this season, I don't think he would have been able to survive the season with how putrid that Jets offensive line was. I watched it live.
I think there was a lot of still very unfortunate circumstances. Like, I don't feel like that was even that bad of a hit.
No.
I think it was just, your
unlucky.
Foot plants in a certain way and shit happens.
Same thing with the Nick Chubb injury.
But it's like any sports gambling or poker or anything. It's really more than anything about getting your money in when you have the odds in your favor, and then most of the time it should go your way. And the opposite of that is also true. If you are a quarterback that is going to just be taking hit after hit after hit, You might get up 100 times, you might get up 200 times, you might get up 300 times, but the point is eventually you're not going to get up, and you have more chances not to.
And Debo walks off the field as he's kind of shaking his chest side to side.
Yeah.
I think he fell on that ball. They're going to slow-mo it for us right here. Yeah, kind of just got the ball. Yeah, he fell on the ball and he reached right for his rib.
It probably pushed his pads into his chest. It's right on his sternum.
So hopefully he just kind of bruised his ribs or knocked himself out of alignment a little bit, and he'll be fine, I'm hoping.
No McCaffrey or Debo on the field in this one.
Yeah, they're keeping Mitchell on the field. This, unfortunately for you, Miles,
Looks
playing
like
against Kittle.
Play,
yeah. Kittle in motion. He's looking right at Kittle first read, just like we said. Who could have possibly seen that coming, Miles Francis? With Debo, Ayuk, and Christian McCaffrey on the field, who could have possibly guessed that George Kittle gets the first read and the first reception in this situation? Yeah.
One-on-one with a linebacker, it looks like.
That's a corner, I believe. Great pass by Brock Purdy, by the way. Looking like a super competent quarterback. Not asked to do much in this game whatsoever. But he is accomplishing what he's asked of doing. Again, Mitchell in the backfield behind Juszczyk and I formation. Bell goes in motion. Juszczyk gets the run up the middle for first down. 1st and 10. At least we're not desperate enough yet to actually start Juszczyk in our fantasy football lineups, right? We haven't.
It's not there yet.
We're almost to starting Taysom Hill in our flex spot, but not quite there yet to having to start Juszczyk. You'd have to remember that this season is long and it is brutal.
It's gonna get interesting. A couple of bye weeks coming up, and we'll be playing some people that I'm like.
Yeah, bye weeks are coming.
I hope they get picked this week.
Juszczyk lined up at tight end, comes in motion. Christian McCaffrey gets his first touch in what feels like 30 plays after he played basically the whole first half exclusively. Close-up shot of Juszczyk, also a handsome man. I think that feels kind of like a prerequisite of playing for the 49ers too, now that we think about it. Everyone on that team is just ultra handsome.
Well, and what's funny is you're just saying they're all handsome because we live in Dallas. If you lived in San Francisco, they're all 6s.
No, I mean, Dallas doesn't get enough credit for how hot of a city it is. There's a lot of hotties out here, including myself and Miles Francis.
Yeah, dude.
Run up the middle.
Another McCaffrey run, just shy of the first down.
3rd and short for the San Francisco 49ers. Gotta love it if you got the under on this game, right? 35 points on the board. You got a little bit of room. You can give up a touchdown here. You're kind of hoping for another 3 minutes off the clock and a field goal if you're an under supporter of this game. James recommended 27.5, I believe.
Individual for the San Francisco, yeah.
Niners team total for the whole game.
He does need that touchdown.
He needs a touchdown here to cash his bet. So he's really sweating.
And a touchdown still would keep that under. So that would really make everybody correct in a weird way. McCaffrey gets the first down, it looks like.
Yep, reception for what seems like a first down here for the Niners. 7:19, 18, 17 on the clock. 7:17 on the clock. We're watching the Christian McCaffrey replay. Clear catch.
Up to 27.4 in a full PPR league.
Full PPR, full 4-point first down.
He's at 19.4.
Yeah, and a half PPR, 19.4.
Still not bad.
Yes, probably end up being.
But honestly, under what he was predicted to do still.
In the backfield still. Here in this drive.
That's the thing. It's not over. We could still get another McCaffrey touchdown here.
Handoff goes to him. He's got a hole up the middle.
Did not get it there.
Gain of 2 on the play. They're still going to him, kind of like what we predicted. He got a big rest in the last couple of drives.
Feels like you're dead on from a coaching perspective. They're like, hey, this is it. We're not fucking around anymore.
Yeah. Smart.
If you're going to stop us, you're going to have to actually stop us. Now, that, I think, plan was put into place when they still had Debo. At this point, I think no matter what happens, I'd keep Debo off the field.
That's a good point. Yeah. Not ever since Debo went out, they started putting in. Now we're seeing McCaffrey on the sideline after getting a lot of touches in a row.
I think that's just like, even
Look
if
at
it
that
turns
top,
out to be
Miles
the winds
Francis.
knocked out of them, just go ahead and let them rest. Like, yeah, man.
Debo is back out on the field, bottom of your screen.
I'm wrong. Here we go.
Got separation. The ball goes to Debo. Back shoulder touchdown.
And exactly as I predicted, he should definitely not be on the field right now.
Get that guy off the field, Miles Francis says. But Deebo Samuel
I still stand by what I said, though, for what it's worth. Even though they just scored that touchdown, they didn't need it. They could have easily gotten there slower.
And that's game, and James Brewer cashes his bet. The first bet that cashes from our betting podcast. He is a good gambler.
Yeah?
That James Brewer. He talks to me about gambling all the time. That's why I wanted him on the show in the first place.
Yeah, he seemed like he knew what he was talking about.
Well, and he's got... You know how I talk about he's an insider? Like, he really is. Like, he knows stuff that people aren't allowed to know. And he's got ties to...
Does he subscribe to one of those fantasy football email lists that I keep getting advertised to me?
No, but he does have, like, a professional gambler that gives him tips.
Oh, that's cool.
A guy who's, like, legitimately been barred from... James Brewer has legitimately been barred from sports books. He really knows what he's talking about. Great bet out of him. Cashes his first bet.
And we're currently sitting at 42 points, so under both the original and the updated.
He recommended like 9 bets on that podcast, which I was like, wow, that's a lot of bets to recommend. But he's
it's
one for one.
It's super easy to recommend bets when you're betting with somebody else's money, though.
Miles Francis did recommend 7 or 8 bets on that podcast as well.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to hit on most of them.
Yeah, honestly, listen to the whole thing back as I was like, because I sent you guys like what everyone actually bet to keep track of it throughout the week. Honestly, loved your bets. Super disciplined. Didn't recommend too many. I think recommend the fewest bets, which is really what you want to do, is just recommend the bets that you think you have the biggest advantage on.
Yeah.
And also contrary bets to like what we were saying. Like you put yourself out on an island on a few of them. You're like, no, fuck you guys. Like so and so, the Dolphins are going to cover the spread or something like that. Put your neck out there for the people in that gambling podcast. Off to a hot start. I was 4-1 in week 1. Jacob Marshall joined us last week. He was like
I watched part of that one.
5 out of 7.
Jacob knows football, man.
5-2. Yeah, he's our college correspondent. Couldn't make it for this Tuesday. We'll probably be having him on as many Tuesday pods as he will be able to be on. I think for Tuesdays, Caleb B. Davis usually busy, usually working Tuesday nights. So it'll probably be a lot of myself, Miles Francis, James Brewer, Jacob Marshall on those Tuesday night pods. And we're going to have some new guests coming up here shortly. Atharva recently reached out to me, said he'd love to be on the show.
I know a lot of comics that I think would have a really good time chatting.
Yeah, if you don't mind asking around, especially when we get people live in studio, that would be ideal. Feels like we can get people for a Tuesday night to hang out with us over
Zoom or whatever.
Zoom, basically. But getting people in person in Dallas on a Thursday night is tough, and on a Sunday night is, a little bit easier with traffic-wise, but sometimes a little bit tough. If you got friends who will come in studio, I would love to have their name, their number.
I'm hoping Jordan Love continues his trend because I'm putting him in over Burrows this week.
We're seeing the Thursday night football next week. The Lions at the Packers. That'll be an exciting game. Who are you starting Jordan Love over?
Burrow. Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that's a really good idea, especially considering Joe Burrow might not play this week.
And Jordan Love has outscored him the first 2 games substantially.
That Bengals situation could turn bad really quick.
It's not looking good for them at all.
They really have no upside to their team. Their defense has regressed. Joe Burrow has carried the organization with his calf injury.
What a fucking run right here. Some old school
football.
Old school football.
But with that calf injury, greatly under acknowledged in the preseason, they kind of just breezed right past it. The original injury looked terrible. We all thought he tore his Achilles in preseason, and he avoided that, but we kind of were just like, oh, he'll be fine. It was early in preseason, and now we're like looking at it, and it's like, ugh. He's carried this team for so long. The team has kind of regressed as a whole, and now we don't have Joe Burrow potentially, yeah, start Jordan Love over him for now until Joe Burrow proves that he's back. With all that being said,
it's kind of the thing. Like everything I read,
play.
everything I see, Joe Burrow probably will be back at some point this season if he does get over this injury.
They're going to figure it out eventually in Cincinnati, but I think it's going to be too little too late.
Too little too late. They are off to a really rough start.
Especially in that division where everyone in that division is going to make a run for the playoffs. Browns, I mean, even if the Browns end up not having a quarterback who they thought they would when they signed questionable character to a record-breaking, fully guaranteed quarterback deal, multi-year deal. He's not looking great, Deshaun Watson, but that defense, if they're playing an average football team with an average head coach who's not Mike Tomlin, and they don't turn the ball over and give away 2 defensive scores in a game, that defense for the Cleveland Browns, led by Jim Schwartz, is gonna carry that team despite the offensive woes early on, and they might figure that offense out. If Deshaun Watson figures it out, or if he gets injured and DTR comes in as a superstar rookie in a good situation, we could see some fireworks in the NFC North. And if the Bengals don't get out to a hot start, they're going to be in trouble.
Agreed.
We'll be playing spoiler towards the end of the season. Being the tough team, tough draw towards the end of the season, even though they're totally out of it.
Which you hate to see too, honestly, just because there's a lot to like in Cincinnati this year, but they are just not.
Joe Burrow steps up in the pocket, throws the ball over the middle to.
That was not Joe Burrow, but you're
Darius Slayton. Daniel Jones does, who's playing better than Joe Burrow thus far in the season.
Daniel Jones is like if Joe Burrow took off the mask.
5:18 left on the clock. Yeah,
he's the Stanley Ipkiss of football.
My least favorite part, what really irks me, is when I flub someone's name like that, and nobody calls me out on it on my podcast.
Oh yeah,
like you guys are making me look like an idiot.
Yeah, we're doing that.
Joe Burrow steps up well in the pocket.
Once again, not
say Joe Burrow. Daniel Jones steps up in the pocket. Makes some room for himself. Gets the first down.
It's Beetlejuice rules, though. If you make that mistake one more time, Joe Burrow will get signed to the Giants.
If Cincinnati wants to tank for Caleb Williams and lose the rest of the season and trade Joe Burrow to the Jets, my Garrett Wilson stake would greatly appreciate it. I'm getting a call.
That's an interesting proposition. You got to assume that the Jets are reaching out to a lot of people.
Hey, Natalie, what's up?
You're live on the podcast.
Yeah, we're doing the podcast. Yep. Yeah, I'm live on YouTube and Facebook. Oh, okay. Okay, fine. Natalie will be home soon.
Cool.
I'm hungry. Natalie's on a diet. Oh, James Brewer just texted me 1-for-1. Shout out to him. Good job out of you, buddy. Matt Breida tackled in the backfield, and they're going to be behind schedule here. And if you got the under, you're feeling pretty good right now. You cannot have a field goal, correct?
Cannot.
Field goal puts it over.
That puts it up on both bets, even no matter when you took it.
Do the Giants get anything out of a field goal?
Do the Giants even bother kicking a field goal?
That's what I'm doing the math on right now. They're down by, what's 30 minus 12? Caleb B. Davis
18.
in my ear. Fumble.
It's 18.
Game. Okay, so that makes things interesting. Fumble on the play. Pass completed over the middle. Darren Waller on the fumble. Allegedly. Brian Daboll on camera. Starting the season 1 and 2. Potentially. We're watching the replay here. Daniel Jones in shotgun. Throws the ball. Ooh.
Big pop-up.
It was actually an interception. It was tipped up into the air.
Yeah.
We couldn't see it from the Prime Vision angle. We're a little bit too zoomed out. So our TV sucks. It's too small.
That looked like bump set, and here's the spike right here. You want to bring your your volleyball coach character back?
And that is game over. Hanging up the phone on the Giants. Just need a few first downs here. Giants have all 3 timeouts. Mitchell on the field, getting the handoff. So that's going to be game, no matter what.
Yeah,
and,
this is over.
And you're hoping the Giants don't bother calling these timeouts here. And they are. Giants aren't giving up yet, but you're kind of hoping they do. Because a late touchdown or they wouldn't go for...
This is some hard-ass garbage time right here. Sure.
Yeah, they're going for a touchdown. So you still feel good because you don't think the Niners are going to kick a field goal here. So what you're cheering for if you're getting the under, you need a couple of first downs, but what you don't want is Elijah Mitchell to break off a 40-yard run, and then they get stuffed on the goal line. Elijah Mitchell gets the ball, a little bit of space, exactly what you want. Stopped for a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 5. It'll be another run to Elijah Mitchell. Natalie is home. Open up the garage door as we speak. 3 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. They have not started the play clock yet because the Giants called a timeout. We're going to have another 30-second timeout. Miles Francis.
I still cannot believe that the New England Patriots are only, was it 3 points to?
I had to really give myself a bet responsibly conversation to myself. Like, don't bet $1,000. Because it feels like such a sure thing. Like,
it does feel very sure.
Let's keep it well under 3 figures, Jamie. But yeah, the Patriots minus 2.5. Not a bet that was recommended on my gambling podcast, but Bill Belichick.
I feel like I did recommend that one.
We all did. I think literally all.
Yeah.
Or the only one who didn't was James, and the only reason he didn't recommend it is because, like, well, I can't recommend it because I already bet whatever the under, and I got like 2 points above the current number. So it's like I'm not going to recommend it, but definitely lean Patriots. He was just leaning defense, which makes sense. But I'm expecting some defensive scores. Natalie, you want to join us on this podcast? There's only 3 minutes, 30 seconds left.
Mitchell gets another run.
I think Natalie's going to join us here in a second. No. I wish she would. That'd be fun. Just got back from school. Natalie in school to become a counselor for mental health reasons.
Hers and her patients.
Well, sometimes it leads to over psychoanalysis when you're taking. She comes home and she's like, "Am I crazy?" Every single day, sort of thing. I'm like, no, that's just mental illness. It'll be 4th down here. The Giants use their final timeout. The Niners are going to punt here, right, Miles Francis? Is that what we're expecting to happen?
There's no reason not to.
Brock Purdy on the sideline, hoping that they pin him deep so a safety doesn't put it over, right?
No, a safety would keep it under.
Safety would keep it under, so you're good with a safety. So you're hoping they pin him super deep.
Now, that was on the line at the time, because you said it changed from 44.5 to 43.5.
Yeah, so if you bet the under...
If you bet the under at 43.5, the safety would be bad for you.
Yeah, but 44.5, that key number, 44.5. Punt is away, in the air. Is it short? Bounced out of bounds, and it looks like they're going to spot him at the 5-yard line. Perfect.
That's about as good as you can hope for in that situation.
That's about as good as you hope for. So Daboll still trying to win the game here. So keep that in mind.
Is he, though, or is he just like, does he feel obligated to pretend to?
Yeah, it's a weird question, right? Because it seemed like when they should have been playing hurry up earlier, John Madden with Telestrator. There's a telestrator and a telestrator and a telestrator and a telestrator.
They're just showing us how these things work.
And he's drawing a penis on the screen.
He was most of the way to a dick,
Kirk Herbstreit, he realized he drew a dick and he played it off by putting 2 other random lines in another circle on the...
See, I thought that was the second nut.
Yeah, and so that's another weird thing, right? Like, you called those timeouts, and now Daniel Jones is on the sideline.
It does not feel like you're trying to win this football game.
So you're not trying to win the football game. Tyrod Taylor in the backfield. Isaiah Hodgins on the field. Darius Slayton on the field.
Are you auditioning your backup quarterback to see if he has something that Daniel Jones doesn't under pressure?
No. Why do you call those timeouts, though, right? If you're just going to give up.
I legitimately think he's trying to give his second quarterback as many live snaps as possible.
They paid Daniel Jones too much, and he didn't even play bad in this game outside of a couple of misses.
But he's Daniel Jones, dude. If we have the same feeling,
paid him. You just paid him.
If we have the same feeling when we look at him,
he's your guy.
He's not your guy.
Tyrod Tayller's not your guy. We've seen enough out of Tyrod Taylor. He's going to get safety. Throw over the middle.
I don't think anybody looks at Daniel Jones under any circumstance and is like, that's my guy.
I trust Daniel Jones way more than I trust Tyrod Taylor.
I agree, but I think at this point there's no harm in seeing if maybe a little bit of pressure doesn't turn a lump of coal into a diamond.
They just threw in the towel here, and now you're cheering for Jamie Gillen to have just a massive punt if you have the under here, because this is going to get a little bit sketchy. No, it won't. It won't get sketchy.
I don't think it's going to get sketchy at all.
I'm just worried, like a punt return for a touchdown, but that wouldn't happen. It's not in the options. Jamie Gillen is trying to set a record for net punts.
Yeah, he does break that first tackle though.
But good punt coverage on the ooh, late hit. They're not gonna flag him, and he is gonna teabag him there. Close to the 2-minute warning. We're not gonna go to the 2-minute warning though. I hope Amazon Prime has the opportunity to go to a quick 30-second commercial, though. God forbid. Yeah, please. Slow this down. Slow the end of this game down. Upcoming schedule.
These are Dallas and Miami will get the Thursday night game in 2 weeks. You'll be excited for Buffalo versus Cleveland. That feels like a big matchup for you, personally.
I'm already giving up on the Cleveland football season. I just want Stefanski fired. That's all I want. I'm sick of it.
You have no trust in Hunt whatsoever?
No, Kareem Hunt.
Ford,
yeah, I love Ford. I think he's the back of the future. I mean, he broke a giant 69-yard run, which was super nice. Yeah. I mean, we all saw it on Monday night. He's no Nick Chubb, and you know who else is no Nick Chubb? Every single other running back in the NFL, because he's the best running back in the NFL. But he is still, I think, someone who can show enough to, at the end of the season, be considered kind of like the Kareem Hunt of old to the Nick Chubb of next year. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like the 1-2 punch. He can. I think what we're gonna see is a coming out party for Jerome Ford, where he shows everybody that he is a top 15, top 12 running back in the NFL for the rest of the season. I think that's what we're going to see out of Jerome Ford. A guy that they just loved, a guy that was respected out of college by this organization, and this organization will hold on to the guys that they draft way too long. We've seen historically. So we know he's going to get the opportunity. We've seen far less talents get the opportunity in this team, and it's just going to be a coming out party for Jerome Ford. He's going to be considered a top 12.
We'll see him going big in draft boards next year.
It'll be interesting drafting next year. I've already kind of, there's that over-under, Miles, that we were talking about earlier, 43.5.
Yep, there it is.
At the game, 10.5 spread,
10.5 spread
for the 49ers. You're already cashing that ticket after that stop. After that punt, honestly, these Giants haven't been able to move everything. So I think we're gonna go 3-1 on opening 3-0 on opening night on the bets that we recommend. I think you and Andrew recommended the under 44.5. But why would you listen to us?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't listen to us.
I literally, anytime anybody asks me for advice, my first piece of advice is don't take advice from a person like me.
Sam Darnold in the game, which if you have the under, I don't know how you feel about it. Are they going to start airing it out here with Sam Darnold? Give Sam Darnold a little bit of a look? They recently shipped off Trey Lance to the Cowboys, which was an interesting trade. I don't know where Trey Lance sits on the depth chart currently for the Dallas Cowboys, although Dak Prescott seems to be doing just a fine job.
Mason makes the first down, which should
be his first touch of the game.
At this point.
And we are cashing our bets. 3 bets recommended for Thursday Night Football on our podcast.
You're going to be the money show, bro.
And all 3 of them cash. The team total for the over. And 2 recommendations out of 2 of our guests for the under. Niners and Giants. My name is Jamie Jakes. You can follow me at Dr. Jamie Jakes on Instagram. You can follow me at JAMJKS on Twitter. Please subscribe to the channel. If you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment. Miles Francis at Mr. Most Days Off on all platforms. We are doing a show together, a Harry Potter show, so follow us on Instagram for details on that. Anything else to tell us, Miles Francis?
No, man. Keep tuning in to What Are We Talking About, where you'll get expert football opinions and also my opinions on football.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Samuel's walking around looking all healthy. What the hell are you wearing a beanie for?